Good morning and a very warm welcome along to the Bulawayo Athletic Club here in beautiful Zimbabwe. We're in the southwest corner of the country, in the country's second city for this highly anticipated ICC T20 World Cup Qualifier B here in Zimbabwe. 8 teams playing out across 20 matches for the final 2 spots at Australia 2022. What a tournament we are lined up for. Almost impossible to call which 2 sides are going to qualify from this. It looks significantly tighter than Qualifier A back in Oman, where Ireland and the United Arab Emirates took the 2 spots that were available. And right here in Zimbabwe, over the course of the next week or so, we're going to find out who will be the 2 final qualifiers. With the top 2 from each group progressing to the semi-finals, where the winners of those semi-finals will take those 2 spots. Andrew Leonard here with you. I'm delighted to have got into Zimbabwe yesterday, joined by one of the great men of Zimbabwean cricket, Eli Tamaripa. We're going to work on the pronunciations each morning. Good morning to you, Eli. Great to see you again, pal.
Andrew, good morning. And we welcome you from all over the world where you are watching this game from. This is the men's ICC T20 World Cup Qualifier.
Netrovalker to get things underway for USA, former captain, and no surprise, Eli, to see USA win the toss and immediately choose to bowl first, no hesitation.
A good choice to put the opposition into bat first. The weather conditions, they are suiting bowler, and at the same time, it's a good start to see how it will behave earlier on in the morning. A good start with that dot ball.
Big swing and a miss across the line. Very gloomy, overcast conditions, but a very flat-looking square, to say the least, and known as a wicket that turns a little bit, but we'll see some seam movement early with it being winter time here in Zimbabwe.
Definitely we will, and there will definitely be a little bit more bounce as the day continues, because it's going to open up a little bit more, and once that sun comes out, bakes the pitch a little bit, it will have just a little bit more bounce.
Beautifully bowled, and that's gone away from the right-hander. Caroline hasn't been able to lay bat on anything yet. He's opening the batting for Jersey alongside Greenwood. And this is a Jersey side that have been in Africa for the best part of a month. Superb Challenge League, 5 wins from 5 there in Uganda. They were confident this morning, but certainly not making early use of these difficult batting conditions.
Well, Jersey have been on the African safari for quite a while, so definitely they will be looking to utilize the little experience that they have.
We'll get those graphics up to you as soon as we can. It's a strong American side. Took their first ever win over full member nation Ireland in December there in Florida in that 2-match T20I series they shared with the Irish. But their seam bowling would really be their strength. Netrovalker himself, Ali Khan, one of the stars of the Global Associate game, and Rusty Theron, I've never seen him bowl as quick.
So we could see how the captain utilizes his bowlers during this tournament, but we'll speak more particularly about this game, what we can look forward to.
First runs of Group A, 4-team group, USA and Jersey were seen in action, and then it's Zimbabwe and Singapore. They'll be playing out across at the Queen's Sports Ground here in Bulawayo, which is probably the main ground in Bulawayo. 2 beautiful venues, though, we have for this tournament.
2 fantastic venues, and definitely you will have plenty of action. BAC might be just slightly smaller than Queen's, and you can look for plenty boundaries to be coming through, so it'll be exciting. But for the bigger action, I'm sure you can be looking towards to go to Queen's, where you can see people trying to attempt to go for the bigger boundaries. So definitely you'll see good action at both sites that we have for this tournament.
Single again, run to Gajanan Singh at mid-on. They'll scamper through, both openers off the mark, but a tight start for USA. They'll be pleased with that. Just 2 runs coming from the opening over, 2 for none. We'll get those graphics up as soon as we can. Are we expecting good crowds, Eli, particularly for the Zimbabwean games? Free entry for everything barring the semi-final day.
Definitely, we should be expecting some good crowds to come through. Do remember that Zimbabwe did host qualifiers early on in 2018, and we had fantastic crowds coming through at Queen's Sports Club. So anticipating that Zimbabwe games will pull the crowds, but all the same, even these ones, they definitely will be pulling crowds. We've got quite a few people that have come through, and even we've got some traveling fans for Jersey. Quite a few parents of the youngsters that are playing in Jersey, they have been in the city for the past few days. They've been doing some sightseeing, so we've got some traveling fans coming through to watch the game.
They always travel in good numbers, Jersey supporters. Ali Khan, it's going to be to open the bowling from the far end of the ground. I was learning my ground names, as always, this morning. That's the city end of the ground, which is down towards the city of Bulawayo. Naturvalker bowling from the golf course end. Ali Khan's 4 overs is going to be absolutely critical in every game that USA play.
Definitely is a key member of the United States bowling attack, and we're looking to him to utilize the pace that he has. And like I did say, in this wicket, he should be expecting to get some really pretty good bounce earlier on in the morning as well.
Tends to tail the ball away from the right-handers with the new ball, and then can often later in the innings at the death get that in-swinging Yorker going. He's such an asset, not just in associate cricket but also in the franchise leagues around the world. Re-signed by the Trinbago Knight Riders just last week in the CPL. And it's that extra pace he has that he possesses that causes such a threat, brings such X-factor.
A good start by Ali Khan. You can see it just tailing away from the right-hander there. Good pace, and he's got good shape coming through to the crease, fluid in terms of his action. So it's a good start by the United States bowlers. One thing that you realize about T20 is that this game, it's all about the runs, and that's for batters, and then for bowlers. Dot balls, they go a long way. So definitely how they've started, they should utilize that a little bit more.
Right on the money. Slight misfield by Sushat Madani, a backward point. It's also a power-packed American batting lineup. We've seen them have a good preparatory tour, 6 matches, 4 in Namibia, 2 in Harare against the Netherlands, winning 3 and losing 3. But from speaking to the camp yesterday, they're very much trying out their options, and these two sides did meet twice in Namibia, USA winning both of those games, albeit in T20 warm-up matches.
And as for Jersey, quite a fairly young side that they have here, and their batters, what they need to get early on. If they're not going to be striking the ball, they need to be getting those singles.
Beautifully bowled, that away movement, and keeping a little bit low as well. Ali Khan already looks up and about and in the game.
Carl Young being stuck at the crease on that one. He had little fit movement, and that's why he ended up collapsing onto his knee slightly there. The pace of Ali Khan just outdoing him there. Lucky that he didn't get any outside edge.
Worked into the leg side, quick single. Jaskran Malhotra, who used to be a wicket keeper, picks up cleanly. He's back from a hand injury, and they will get through for the single. It's a chilly morning, isn't it? Is this as cold as it gets in winter here? 15, 16 degrees to get things going?
This is nothing. This is nothing. This is actually good weather. It does get to lower temperatures. We've had as minimum as 8. We're just lucky that there's no wind at all, so that has aided us to have just this good weather. But it'll clear up according to the weather forecast. So we'll be having those nice African sun, and it'll be baking us in a short while. We'll be running for shade.
It's a guarantee, is it? Okay, right on. Feels a bit like an Irish morning, if I can be parochial and home based for a moment. Probably like an Irish summer's day as opposed to an Irish winter's day. But we had beautiful sunshine yesterday afternoon. I got in yesterday into Bulawayo. Very different city to Harare, more of a sort of a large country town, very relaxed, very chilled out local vibes.
Definitely, that's the vibe in Bulawayo. Chilled. We take it nice and easy like a Sunday morning. Just to give you some stats on the Jersey batsman that we have at the moment, that is Harrison Claron. He's got 18 matches under his belt, strike rate of 112, 250s under his belt.
Again, just rush to pace and hurry. Two very tight overs to start things for USA at the end of the second over. Jersey 4 for none. Hopefully our graphics now up and we'll be able to bring the two starting 11s. 3 players missed out from both 14 men's squads, 14 players in all of the squads. And for Jersey, the 3 that are missing out, it's Dan Birrell, Zach Tribe and Reece Palmer. But the big boost is, of course, Ben Stevens and Ben Ward in the side. And keep your eyes out for the spinning options of this team. John Jenner, one of the star batters in this team as well. And for USA, 3 players missing out. The 2 youngsters, Yasser Mohammed and Batsal Vaigela, the 2 spin options, both not being picked. So contrasting views from the 2 camps. USA going very, very seam heavy, going out with their quick bowlers. Jersey, they're going with their spinners.
I think what all this does is that it works out well for the way in which the toss went, because early on in the morning, I can say that it'll be pretty good for pace, and then later on in the day, the sun comes out, it'll be pretty much good for spin. So those are good options that they have for whoever good game. Oh, good shot. It'll scamper for a single.
Sorry about that. Just getting our graphics up and ready. There's 3 bowlers used so far, and that is Rusty Theron into the attack. And like you said, a good shot. We'll hopefully be able to pull that down. There we go. Just a few little connection issues this morning. Got a satellite truck in for the first time for one of these ICC pathway events. Hopefully bringing these pictures around the world loud and clear. There's Rusty Theron coming in from this golf course end. That's a pleasing stroke. It'll be the first boundary of the day. And a very nice time shot into the leg side. Big cheers for the Jersey bench. Greenwood gets that one away for 4.
A fantastic shot through the mid region. Just timed it to perfection. The outfield will be light and quick. And it just pierces in dip backward square. And the man trying to cut it off from mid on and picks up a fantastic boundary. You can see there's a change in terms of fielding, pulling out a slip. And they're throwing him into mid-wicket region to try and plug in that gap. So good start by Jersey to this over.
Down the leg side will be signalled wide. A surprise perhaps to see Netravalkar just given the 1 over. He was getting good movement away from the right-handers. Potentially Manak Patel could have just kept it a bit simpler and kept Netravalkar on.
So this is the T20 format. So as people know that the overs will go by pretty fast, and as well you need to utilize the power play. So I'm really wondering, there's this time that Jersey will be looking to utilize the power play, because already they've had 2 overs.
Good pace on show there from Rusty Theron. Certainly looked in outstanding rhythm yesterday in the nets. As fast as I've seen him bowl in American colours. You were joking with me this morning, it's because he's back in Africa.
Definitely African conditions suiting him, because a big lad and seems to be pretty much in good shape. And he would love just to feel at home and utilize the conditions pretty well.
Driven, immediate call of yes. Netravalkar, possibly the weakest of the American fielders, and it's been well identified. Greenwood and Carline, both fit young men, could be between the wickets for the single. 2 games these 2 sides played in Windhoek. USA came out on top in both games, winning the first match by 50 runs. Gajinad Singh starring now with 57 off 28 deliveries. But Ben Stevens in the second game made 98 as Jersey posted 172. USA chased that down remarkably inside 16 overs. It's a nervous-looking head coach. Jagadish Sharon Kumar down on the bench there for the USA. Would you be expecting a similar result today, or USA favourites going into this one?
Pretty much USA are favourites. So I think the odds are with the USA. But hey, this is T20 and this is World Cup qualifiers. 2 spots up for grabs to qualify for the World Cup. So definitely form books will be thrown out the window. And we have just to look at how each team seeks to play in this tournament. And yeah, Jersey need to make the most of it.
Driven but straight to the cover field. That's Jasper Malhotra back into action. six-hitter. Joined that remarkable list of Yuvraj Singh, Herschel Gibbs, and Kyron Pollard. Just 4 men to do it in international cricket. Get to the end of the third, 12 for none. Who's going to be the happier of the two sides so far?
I think just will be happier with the last over 8 runs coming off it. And definitely that's a good mark in T20. If you can get to score 6 and over, anything a plus 10 or around 10, that would be a good score for that over. So in this particular one, the Jersey coming out tops, 3 overs down, and they are 12 for no loss.
Continue again, hurries the batter for pace. Loves getting fired up, getting into the batter's face. He's the real talisman of this American attack.
Good start to Ali Khan so far in terms of his figures. They're looking good. It's his second over, so only conceded 2 runs. And is that a close call with Clairon? We sort of caught him dead stuck in the crease. And I'm sure he'll be looking to do that in this one. Probably might pick up his first wicket of the tournament.
Good hard leg can thuds into the upper edge of the bat. Will guide it down to third man for a single. 2 games in action right now, both in Group A. Zimbabwe have got the tournament underway. Batting first against Singapore. You'll be pleased to hear they're off to a flyer. 39 for none after 3. You can catch that one on ICC.TV as well. The home side will be favourites to take one of the 2 spots. There's a huge amount of pressure on it at the same time.
Definitely, they've had dismal performances in the past few series that they've played. They did host Namibia, and they suffered a 3-2 defeat to Namibia and played Afghanistan, which they lost.
Back towards Ali Khan, nearly a chance, but goes between his legs and his dunk ball. Dismal performances from Zimbabwe.
Yeah, they've been pretty bad, but I'm sure they'll need to pick themselves up. I've had a chance of watching their practice games leading to this tournament, and I must say that they've been looking good. Now they've had 5 guys that were out of injury during the course of those 2 series that they played, and they're now back in. So probably that might have been the reason for the poor performances. But now it's a full strength squad that is there, and hence you can see the way that they've started off. They would seek to exert their authority and look to be a side that will go all the way to the final.
Work straight to the man, Malhotra, mid-wicket with a dot ball. 2 full member nations have had to come through this qualification process. We saw Ireland really just squeeze through in Oman. They won 3 of their 5 matches, but they did it in the game that counted against the hosts. Oman to win that semi-final, to get on the plane to Australia. It felt to me when I was in Oman that Ireland felt a huge amount of pressure. Will it be the same for Zimbabwe, particularly in front of an expectant home crowd, or will they ride that home crowd to victory?
The home crowd definitely play a tough role and push them on. Trying to go for a power shot, run out chance. Good fielding. And good running. Good cricket all through the way. You need to make the most of any opportunities that you get to score, and at the same time take every chance that you get to try and get a wicket. That's what we saw the United States trying to do there. So good cricket all round.
Stephen Taylor as well, one of the standout fielders for USA. Brilliant piece of backing up. You won't have seen it on your screen from Nisar Patel, who's run 20, 30, 40 yards maybe even to make sure there was no chance of an overthrow. Kept it to just a single. Direct hit would have been very, very tight indeed.
I love the way Ali Khan is bowling. He's only conceded 2 runs so far in his over. And he's doing quite well. Doing very, very fantastic.
Yeah, building up a big head of steam, isn't he? From the city end of the ground. Be interesting to see if they hold back 2 as overs, or will they gamble a third in the power play. Again, hurries the batter, mix up. Gajanan Singh, direct hit would have been very close again. I think this could have been gone.
The pressure that Ali Khan and his bowling are putting on Jersey, we see that they're trying to get singles because they're not able to get those boundaries. Bit of a scamper, and then hesitation, good throw. Barely making it in. Barely making it in.
My finger's gone up here in the box for the direct hit. I think that would have been gone. Quick to the ball as well, Gajnan Singh. Lost a huge amount of weight, the left-hander. If you saw him a year ago, he was probably 10 or 15 kilograms heavier. He's worked so hard in his fitness. And this American side, they look a buzz, they look full of confidence. Haven't found the breakthrough yet, but that early run rate for Jersey, just 3.5 and over, not good enough.
It's not good enough. They need to make use of the power play, and they've got 2 overs left in the power play that they need to utilize. And going at 3 and over, T20, that's a bit of a slow start.
We will keep you posted from the other game as we can. And I'll tell you one thing, Zimbabwe are not going at 3.5 and over. They're going at nearly 15 and over. 49 for none after just 3.2 overs. Just the one over of Rusty Theron. Manak Patel decides maybe he made an error. He's going to go back to Netravalkar. He thinks that the helpful seeming conditions that we expected for the first 30 or 40 minutes or so with the one new white ball will be best exploited by the former captain, the left armour. One's driven very pleasingly, a little bit of width on offer, maybe too full. An apology from Netravalkar, and cheers ring out from the Jersey bench for just the second time.
2 full, and dispatch to the boundary for 4. That's a good start to the over by Jersey. They will need more shots like that. Utilizing the fielding restrictions. 4 runs. A fantastic shot that we saw there. Just being given a little bit more width, and he took full use of that.
Driven straight to Theron, fields well. USA look really energetic in the field. They're going to get an overthrow here, Jersey. Nobody at mid-wicket to back it up. And it's amazing how on edge everyone is. The fielders, the crowd, the benches. Every ball matters here. Not just every game. Every ball in this tournament is going to count.
Every ball, every run. It'll definitely go a long way. Every dot ball as well will go a long way. So shall every wicket. A little bit of a commentator's curse there from Andrew Lennon. He was praising the States for the way that they were fielding the last ball and then the first ball.
It's not even 10 a.m. yet. Like, come on, we can't have commentators' curses yet. Down the track, and a mighty strike down the ground. It's going to be one bounce and over the rope. It's not particularly big straight down the ground here. Good area to target with mid-off and mid-on up. Nice straight back shot by Carlyon. His first boundary.
Carlyon, good use of the feet right there. Looking to come down the track and hitting it straight, the safest shot that you can ever have in the game, and he picks up 4. Good cricket. It's a huge one. One thing that you realize about BAC, the boundary is a little bit short, so if you put it in the slot, you definitely will go the distance.
Feels like Jersey are going to try and target Netravalkar in this over. You get a boundary early in over, particularly in the power play of T20. You've got to try and capitalise and make it a big over. We're just talking about the fact Jersey were off to a very cautious start, just 3.5 and over, and 2 changes in the field. The keeper, the captain, Manak Patel, will come up to the stumps. The third man will come into the circle, and long on. Gajnan Singh will go back. So both fielders in the deep on the leg side right now. Floods into the pad, pitches outside leg, no interest at all. Haven't told you about the 2 umpires yet with all the excitement. That's Langton Razira, one of the leading Zimbabwean umpires, standing here at the golf course end. I know Chabi at Square Leg.
Fantastic team of umpires. Forstam Tees was the third umpire. He's the man who handled the toss. T20 is not forgiving in terms of runs. If you ball in the slot, 3 balls, you can see he's already gone for 9.
Gives himself some room inside the leg stump. Baron Jones picks up, but again a direct hit would have been gone. Good athletic piece of fielding. He threw completely off balance, probably only the one stump to aim at. It would have been a sensational run out, but he can't affect the direct hit.
One stump that he had, so the batsman giving up in the run for that one. He had seen himself out already. But just unlucky for the fielder, Aaron Jones there, just missing it by just a few centimeters.
Petrovalka gets out of the over. Dot, single dot to finish. Get to the end of the fifth. Score 24 for none. Won't be a third over of Muhammad Ali Khan in the power play. We'll be back to Rusty Theron with a change of ends. Come in from the city end of the ground, holding Ali Khan back for 2 overs of death. That's the right thing for Manik Patel to do.
Definitely is. That's the key in terms of like I said earlier on, how you utilize your pace bowlers earlier on is key. Make the opposition not get too familiar with one type of bowling. So that's what we're seeing Manik Patel do.
And that's the first wicket. The change of ends has worked. And what a catch from Gajanan Singh. Doesn't he love it? Shows how much every ball means out here. A good grab at cover. Probably wasn't the best delivery, but banged in back of a length. Carline can only pick Singh out in the cover region.
What did I tell you about Russell Theron? Back on the African continent. Picks up his first wicket in the tournament. Just banged it a little bit short and caught in the covers. Looking to cut it, but that bounce just slowed it up a bit. That's why it ended up in the covers. Good catch. Fantastic catch. You can see the excitement by the USA side. Good start. Jersey 24 for 1.
Yeah, Carline has to go for 10. 10 made off 16 balls. Falls to Rusty Theron. 24 for 1 and 6. And that has definitely swung the game more heavily in favour of USA. Maybe that extra bit of pace from Theron, just rushing the batter again.
As if you've seen that replay, he really bent his back, putting all of it into that, and just getting a little bit extra pace in that one, and didn't give enough time to the batter just to roll his wrist in terms of creating that cut shot, giving it enough flight to get through to cover. So good cricket from Rusty Theron. Well bowled.
The big man, the former South African international, of course. Back on African soil here. Maybe the youngster in at number 3. He's a tribe, just 18 years of age. His 9th T20 today. Making his debut at the European Qualifier there in Spain. Last October, which Jersey got through alongside Germany. There were the 2 sides to qualify. Germany going to Oman, failing to get through there. Jersey will be looking to fly the flag for the European region. We've also got the Netherlands here. The Dutch are here. Same reason Ireland had to go to Oman. They didn't get through to the Super 12 stage. It was Namibia and Scotland who got the double bonus. Not just advancing to the Super 12 stage, but guaranteeing themselves an automatic place without having to go through the agony of this qualification process.
Yeah, it's quite a long road to the World Cup if you're going through the qualifiers route. So definitely teams look to have a better performance during the course of the year and also at the World Cup, so you guarantee yourself a place in the next edition. Asa Tribe has got 151 runs under his belt, high score of 65, the strike rate of 129, so definitely there is talent there. He can strike the ball pretty well.
Also in good form in Windhoek, 2 consecutive 50s, 72 not out against Namibia, followed up by 67 a couple of days later. Didn't pick up many runs against USA in the one appearance there, but he's a young batter full of talent. Difficult circumstances, difficult conditions to come in for him to face, though, against bowlers who've got a head of steam up.
That's the thing about T20, you don't have that much time to try and play yourself in, so you really need to get going from the start.
Dug in back of a length, but it hasn't got up. It's kept low, and it's almost an attempted hook shot rather than a pull shot. He's missed that by at least a bat length.
True. Just keeping low. So you'll find that that's a variable bounce that you're getting in BAC, something that we did not anticipate. So those are the kind of things that as a batsman you need to consider, that some things might just swing up on you, and you have to be able to
quite square there. This time Tribe got it between the gap. Good hard length from Theron. You can see that's clearly the plan, isn't it? Bang it into the wicket.
It's a plan that has worked so far pretty well. Jersey just slightly getting their run rate up after they're up to 5.12 at the moment. They would try and look to get it up a bit more and look to get to a decent score. I'll be asking Andrew Leonard what he does he think is a safe score to have later on. So we'll pretty much be looking at the conditions and seeing the way that they're batting and give us a figure.
Really good over. The wicket to close out the power play. It's 29 for 1 after 6. Eli, to answer your question, I suppose from the position they're currently in, Jersey are really thinking of something like 140. 140 is probably a pretty good effort from where they are. But maybe once the spinners come on, maybe that's who they can go after. They do have power hitting to come. Very stacked middle order for Jersey in particular. But from where they are right now, it might be difficult to get up north of that 140, 150 mark. I looked at the square yesterday. I thought it was a batter's paradise, but I think most squares look good. It just looks really, really flat here.
I did tell you that when you're looking at the square, you're thinking that is a batter's paradise, but once you're in there, it's a whole different story. Don't be fooled by the short boundaries. The pitch does something different.
So Manik Patel has turned to his occasional leg break bowler, Aaron Jones, as vice captain. We've seen him used more and more. He's used an awful lot in Texas in the back-to-back ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 series there in Texas, the first ever international cricket played in Texas. That was against Scotland and UAE, Oman, and Nepal in town. But remarkably, Jones didn't take a wicket, although he was used with the ball I think 5 or 6 times in the 8 games. He's getting more and more effective with his leg breaks, but he's not a particularly regular bowler in the T20 game. He has been used in the warm-up games. I'm surprised to see him turn to so early. Perhaps Patel is looking for a horses for courses approach, trying to take the ball away from the right-handers.
Change of pace and going for spin, and definitely that's a good ploy by Manik Patel. A good stop by Aaron Jones, just giving it a little bit more flight.
Perhaps what Patel is looking to do here as well is give himself those options. He has the spin options of Stephen Taylor, the off-spinner, Nisarg Patel, the left-arm orthodox bowler, and then the part-time leg breaks of Jones. So if he can get 1 or 2 overs from him here, gives him lots of options, towards the death.
Also try just having a look at the pitch and also the field to try and look for some scoring opportunities. Bowled in a little bit quicker and too close to cut from my take from Master Tribe.
He's not a big turner of the ball, but what he is, he's pretty effective. Doesn't bowl a huge number of bad balls, bowls quite tight to the stumps. Patel has huge faith in his vice captain. It's a really good start, just 2 singles from 4 deliveries. If he can get through 2 overs here, it'll be a big boost to USA.
USA looking on top of things at the moment. They have plucked the runs. It's hard to score, and it'll definitely get the Jersey batsmen thinking a lot in terms of what they need to do to get to a decent defendable total. Good use of the feet. Cuts it away. There's a man in the deep, sort of in a sweeper position right there. Just a single taken. Banking shot, pulled away. That's the first maximum. 6 runs. Fantastic shot. Master Tribe just leaning back. You could hear the cry of Jones. Big shout of no. He knew that it wasn't a good ball and dispatched with ease.
So nearly through the over, and then it's the drag down. Really poor delivery. And he just sat up to be hit, and trouble in that house across to the leg side of the ground there. The owner was off at work because maybe some evasive action would have needed to be taken. It's going to be the more orthodox spin from this golf course road end of the ground. That's Nisarg Patel with his, in fact, correction. We'll get the ends right. The camera's bowlers are confusing me now. It's the city end of the ground Nisar Patel will come in from. But will it be just the one over of Jones after that drag down?
Well, there's little room for error in T20 cricket. He had started the over well. Before that ball, he had only gone for 3. And then to end that over with 6, that makes it 9, which is quite an expensive over for the United States. But it's his first over. We'll see how the captain feels about that.
Often you'll see that the part-time bowler turn to when things aren't going your way. When you're right on top, maybe it might just be the better option to stick with your 5 regulation bowlers and the 5 out-and-out bowlers that you'd expect. Certainly in this side today, I wouldn't have had Aaron Jones in that list of 5.
And Nisar Patel would have thought that was almost a catch, but he ran into Greenwood. Just plugged into the gap. They'll take a quick single.
Very clever bowler, Nisar Patel. He'll vary his pace through the air, also his angle of attack from the crease. Again, not a huge turner of the ball. The ground staff we were talking to this morning were telling us that they do expect turn from these wickets, but none really on offer so far. This is going to be the second wicket, a real mix-up, and it's a calamitous run out. Jersey have lost their second. Excellent from Rusty Theron, and even better from Nisar Patel to hold on to what was a pretty sharp throw on one bounce, and that's going to be the second to fall for Jersey.
Greenwood made the call. Asa Tribe stood his ground, and that resulted in that confusion in the center. We did see it earlier on. There were bitter moments where they could have had several run-outs. Cut it. Asa ran all the way. Nisar stood his ground. The batsman crossed in the center slightly. Look of disappointment at each other. Like, that was my call. I made the shot. Should have listened to me.
Yeah, the youngsters ended up running past him, isn't he? And I think that a more experienced batter would have just taken a step back and kept in the crease. I know what Jeffrey Boycott would have done in that instance. He would have made sure he was kept in. A calamitous way to lose their second. And the second opener is gone as Rusty Theron chomps on a celebratory banana. He gets his reward. That was a really good piece of fielding.
Fantastic fielding. Always stay away in terms of where the batters are. Whose call do you think that was?
This is always the issue at backward point. It's always the one that gets not just the coaches confused, but the batters confused, because you say that if you hit down the ground, everything in front of you should be primarily because of the fact that this T20 World Cup is a bit of a bonus T20 World Cup as we get to the end of the 8th. They score 41 for 2. This replaced the Champions Trophy, so there was no qualification structure in place. So the ICC had to put a last-minute sort of ad hoc qualification structure in. That meant we split the groups. We had Group A up in Oman back in February, and here Group B in Zimbabwe, which has felt like a very long wait between the two tournaments. And it's meant that Jersey aren't on the stage that they were in 15 and 19, a different stage, but they've always performed very well at this level since they've got to it and represented Europe with really good, impressive performances.
Definitely we see it, and they have a lot of youngsters who have got quite a number of games under their belt if you're looking at their lineup. And I'm telling you, Jersey will be a team that you can definitely look towards to do well in the future. They've invested well in their youngsters.
Will be a second over of Aaron Jones. This is a bit of a roll of the dice in my opinion, and he's punished down the ground. Should be a couple. Oh, and won't go back for the second. More misgivings between the wickets, and Stephen Taylor very quick along the turf, and he cuts off what looked like a certain second.
Good running to cut that one by Stephen Taylor. Well, I think Manat Patel, the reason why he went back to Aaron Jones is that you got two new batters at the crease. So those who had been in and looked set, they're out. So it gives Aaron Jones the opportunity to try and rectify his first over and look to do a little bit more damage in terms of getting dot balls. Even better if he gets a wicket for his captain.
Pumped into the offside, straight to Malhotra. Just saw a little change to the field. I think Taylor just indicated his shoulder's not 100%, so he's going to go into extra cover. The subfielder, Cameron Stevenson, I'll find out who he's on for, is come in front of our commentary position here at long off.
Aaron Jones need to bowl that well. That one was a little bit too short as well. And that's why it was cut down to the sweeper. Same as that one. Might just need to get it a little side of off stump, and he had gone a further little bit away. Could have been a stumping opportunity, and he missed that one.
And do remember, Stevens took a real liking to the American bowlers in Windhoek, albeit in what was a practice match in essence, warming up. 98 from 50 deliveries. He was the standout batter without a doubt, although USA went on to win that game pretty comfortably. Great tight over from Patel. He's had a very good impact. At the end of the 10th over, the score is 50 for 3. Marty Kane into the attack with his unique action of Kiwi origin. Has been in San Diego for the last 10 years or so with his wife. Plays for the brilliantly named, you're going to love this minor league cricket team name, Eli, the San Diego Surf Riders.
Brilliant name.
That is a great name for a franchise team, isn't it? For the minor league cricket. 26 teams playing nearly 200 matches across weekends in the summer in America. Been a big game changer for the American game. You can see the added benefit it's given to the T20 game within the United States.
So this left-hand, right-hand combination that Jersey have will look to bring some fielding changes. I think they should look to utilize a little bit more, as the bowler would need to be adjusting his line and length much more often every time they get a run. So these two need to put up a decent platform for everyone else to come for Jersey.
Now, we all remember Paul Adams, the brilliantly described frog in a blender action that the left arm wrist spinner from South Africa had. Marty Kane's action, as this one thuds into the pad, going to angle down the leg side, quick single, it will get through for her as Patel comes around. Describe Marty Kane's action for me, Eli. I'll give you one more ball if you need it.
Let me think about it. Monad Patel doing some fantastic fielding on that one. The action is unique. I'm still trying to find a perfect way to describe him. But look.
We have seen, though, in T20 cricket.
Definitely, because if you're looking at him, the pace at which his arm is coming through deceives the batter in terms of looking at it. If he doesn't look at the ball, you think that it's going to come a little bit quicker, but it's actually, it will slow it down as it.
And that, for my money, I was a bowler, not a batter, but as a batter you rely upon your trigger movements. That's going to put your timing off as a batter, particularly if you've never seen Kane before. We could see both Tribe and Stevens there, no sense of timing or rhythm at all against Kane.
Definitely. And the results from that over, he's only considered 3 off the bat and just 1 leg by. So good start by Marty Kane to his over. Leaving Jersey after 11 overs, 54 for 3.
So the changes are being rung by Malang Patel. It's going to be the 7th bowler to be used, Stephen Taylor, with his off breaks. Is he coming in particularly because the left-hander's at the crease? That's why Aaron Jones, we're not going to see maybe any more of him today.
Well, I think it's also just to keep the batters on their toes by just changing it up. We see that we've had some bit of opportunities with pace off the ball. And the scoring opportunities are quite less. I think we haven't had a boundary in the last 2 overs, if I'm not mistaken, which in T20, that's a good plus for the bowling side and not pretty much for the batters.
A remarkable variation for Malang Patel to have. We've seen the 2 left-arm spinners who are very, very different, Marty Kane and Nisarg Patel. Then we've seen the off breaks now of Stephen Taylor, the part-time leg breaks of Aaron Jones, all complemented by 3 really strong, strapping seamers. You need good bowling options in T20. That's what USA possess, as they'll get back for a comfortable 2 here.
A good running by Jersey, good running. Every run will count for them. And for United States, they will praise every dot ball that they get, especially just after the halfway mark. And if you're going at this rate, probably 120 is what Jersey will be putting on the card. Oh, big one. That's heaved away on the leg side. Definitely will be calling for a new ball. I hope that wasn't someone's windscreen or window.
There was a big clatter, wasn't it? I wonder, was it maybe the rooftop of those outgrounds? That one might have even gone out of the grounds of the BAC. It's an almighty hit from Tribe, the biggest 6 we've seen here at this ground so far. And again, good shot selection. The ball angling in, turning into him, gets into a good solid position, and that one's gone miles.
Fantastic hit. We'll see the third umpire, Fostam Teasram, coming with that famous bag of new balls. And Aino Chabi just picks up one. A good strike. That's a good way to finish off the over. He's got 10 off it so far, so we need a little bit more of that. Asa Tribe has faced 21 balls on 27, so definitely he's seen the ball. He's been there for quite some time in T20 time frame, if you have to say it. So definitely he should be able to play such shots.
And of course, he's trying to make up for that horrendous mix-up he had with the opener Greenwood, who he really sold up the river and ran him out. So he's got runs to catch up on, and he knows that he'll have to probably not just double up that score, maybe do more than that to give Jersey a fighting chance here. Still think they need shorty north of 140 to be in the game.
Definitely. 150 will be the par score, and anything above that is what they'll be looking to try and get. These 2 need to push Jersey. Cuts, but straight to backward point.
11 runs from that opening Taylor over, with 12 gone. The score 65 for 3. We'll see if we can get a look at the bowling figures so far. One of the most expensive overs of the innings, that one. 7 bowlers used. Would you suspect we will see all 3 of the seamers complete their 4 over allocation, meaning that he has 6 overs left of that, and we'll just see 2 more overs of spin potentially?
I think it pretty much depends. If I was Mona Patel, I'll just bring in 1 seamer towards the end just to see how he does, and that will definitely give me the variation to see which ball I can use. Change in bowling attract. That Netravalka coming back into the attack.
Yes, we'll see one of those 6 potential overs of seam actually used now.
So now, like I did say, that I would have put in a seamer right now just to see how he does, and that will give me sort of how I would use the rest of the spin bowlers that I have.
I'd imagine certainly we'll see Ali Khan bowl the 18th and the 20th. That's for certain. Theron's been very effective as well today. But this might be an over that Tribe will look to target. Keeper up to the stumps, putting pressure on the youngster. He starts with a slower ball, a cutter really nicely bowled and very well executed, right on the money from Netravalka.
That was good cricket all around, well bowled and well played. Also try playing it with soft hands and allowing it to just run down to short third man. He's in the circle. Also Tribe would need to look at scoring opportunities in this particular over as well, while the States will be looking to pick up a few more wickets.
Pulled away, and that's an almighty strike up towards that house again. Too short from Netravalka, not at that pace, and Tribe showing the power he possesses. That's another big hit from the youngster.
Too short and put away with these. They tell you that the boundaries are short and it goes the distance. Banked it in short. That's a Tribe just picked it up. Got a beautiful sound to the bat. That one definitely came off the middle. Got a 6 maximum.
Netravalkar has remarkable consistency, particularly in the ODI format. One of the most economical bowlers in modern ODI cricket. A career economy rate in and around 3.3, 3.4, 3.5. But usually in his second spell he does this. He comes around the wicket. I'm not sure why he stayed over. He's going to try and close off the angle and not allow the right-hander to hit to the leg side. This is a better option and an immediate change. Good captaincy from Patel, going down having a word with his left arm seamer.
Definitely you need to keep an eye on your bowlers in terms of their bowling strength. It's always good to just have a chat with them. As you can see with the fielding set for him, he needs to bowl to his strengths, and with the angle that he has bowling into the batsman, all he can pretty much give away will be singles. Oh, big one. That's the same shot. Managing to get the bat under that one, and goes for 6 maximum. That's a Tribe looking to target Netravalkar in this over.
Well, is this a game-changing over? 2 sixes already. And this is an almighty strike. Really good use of that angle. And a big, big hit. The second 6 of the innings. I think they need to make this a huge over. Start to get up towards that 150 mark. Game on all of a sudden at the BAC.
It was in the slot and he took it well. Shorter boundaries and definitely getting 6 maximum. Pushes also Tribe to 40 of 26. Definitely, like Leonard says, that he needs to make up for that run-up mix-up.
Into the wicket. Trying to close off that leg side again. But 13 runs from just 5 deliveries. An expensive change of bowling. Maybe Patel will look back and say, should I have kept Marty Kane on? Bowled such a good first over.
Well, I did say that this over, by bringing on pace, Manat Patel will use it as a way to gauge how he goes about with his bowling attack. So I think probably after this one, he'll go back to spin and try and slow things down a bit.
Stylishly worked into the leg side. It'll just be a single, despite the little fumble in the deep. At end of the 13th, 14 runs coming from that over. You're going to see here, Eli, one of the most expensive overs of the game so far, and that's more like it from Jersey. Some aggressive attacking intent. They've got that run rate up north of a run a ball for the first time. And do you feel like now there's a chance to get north of 140 for Jersey?
Definitely. These two will need to pick it up and keep it going. I don't know if they can, they can get 2 more overs of this nature where they're going at 14. That'll be good, and it'll get them to that par score of looking at 140 plus. So they need to get going. These two need to get to the last over if they can, or see it all the way through and get them to a decent total. They have had the framework with Asa Tribe, 41 of 27. And then Ben Stevens, we know he's a good striker of the ball as well. So definitely you've got a good pair of batsmen out there.
Stevens is a tall, elegant left-hander, but he does possess big power down the ground, likes targeting over long on cow corner, and this is a critical over for my money. 7 to go. We know how tight Ali Khan and Rusty Theron's 4 overs will be, but here Nisarg Patel, he's only gone for 6 in 2 overs. The left-hander's going to have the ball turning into him. I think he needs to go at him here, Stevens. That's what he tries. It thuds into the pad. Massive appeal. Has it pitched outside leg is the question.
I think pretty much they were appealing for a catch there rather than anything, because that was well outside leg stump.
You can see where Stevens is going to target though. 3 men in the deep on the leg side. Deep backward square leg. Deep mid wicket. And long on. All out. Beautifully bowled. Oh, that's excellent from Nisarg Patel. He knew what Stevens was going to do, and he's out-taught him. They call him the professor in the American squad, and he's a thinking cricketer. That's an excellent piece of left-arm spin bowling.
Nisarg Patel seeing Ben Stevens coming down the track and just pushed it wide of the batsman. Good take by Manat Patel. Stump. Jersey, they lose a wicket, and it definitely puts them in a bit of a spot of bother. That 140 we're looking at just comes down a little bit more by 20 runs. Jersey 79 for 4.
Definitely not Ben Stevens' day. Stumped by Manat Patel for 6 from 11 deliveries. having made 98 against USA in one of those warm-up games in Windhoek less than 2 weeks ago. But excellent bowling. I said it was a huge over. I thought it might have been a huge over with the bat, but it's been a massive over after just 2 balls with the ball for Nisarg Patel. That's as good a piece and as clever a piece of spin bowling as you'll ever see.
I did tell you that at the end of Netravalka's over that Manat Patel should look to bring in spin back again, because what we saw in that is that the batters that were there, they love pace coming onto the bat, and by just taking pace off Ben Stevens, he had been there for quite a while but wasn't getting any runs, so he felt he needed the pressure to attack Nisarg Patel early on, and that presented the opportunity that they got.
I think you're spot on. Exactly what you said there. The turn back to Netravalka was probably a couple of overs too early. In fact, it may not have been needed at all. They could have maybe gone with spin all the way up to the 16th over and then allowed Khan and Theron to close things out. But the reintroduction of Patel has brought about a big wicket. It'll bring Ben Ward to the crease, also a good striker of the ball. He too had success against the USA in one of those 2 warm-up matches, 60 off 39. He made, and just a bit of turn this time for Patel. He has been right on the money. His 15 deliveries so far, only gone for 6 runs and 2 crucial wickets.
Ben Ward comes at a point where his team will need him to bring his A game. Well, gets off the mark with a quick single. He'll look for 2. And that'll be a call for no from Master Tribe. This is the first game of the tournament. How crucial is winning this game for both teams?
I don't think you can overstate its importance, particularly because both sides still have to play against Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, not just the highest ranked side here, they're the favourites for a reason. The sole full member nation in this qualifier B. On home soil, they'll know the conditions better than anyone. If you lose today, the remarkable thing about 4-team groups with 2 going through, you can get through with just 1 win. Let's say Zimbabwe win all 3 games and the other 3 sides all beat each other. You can get through with 1 win and net run rate being good. So every ball, every over counts here. But you've got to start with a win if you're USA or if you're Jersey here. Because then it will put you in a position where, for example, were USA to win today, they play Singapore in their next game. If they win that, they're 2 from 2. They're not certainties to go through. You can win 2 games and not go through. I'll explain that one to you in a second. It's all very complicated, the 4-team groups. But you've got to win today. That's got to be the key for USA and for Jersey. 14 gone, 82 for 4.
And talking about Zimbabwe, after almost 18 overs, 144 for 3, strike rate, run rate of 11.2.
I was wondering why you were jumping while you were commentating next to me. Look at that. That is outstanding striking. And the return of Shaun Williams to that Zimbabwean side, that is huge for the hosts.
It's definitely a key member of the squad, and his figures they speak a lot about the guy. 29 balls faced, he's on 45. 4 fours and 1 6, strike rate of 155.
Interesting to see Craig Irvine, the skipper, opening up, trying to take advantage of that power play. It's not going to be overs 18 and 20 that Ali Khan will bowl. Patel decides that spin isn't the right option right now, potentially because the new man Ward is on strike and he wants to strike here. Does Monang Patel. He's going to bring back his big fast bowler Ali Khan, who's at a change of ends. He'll come in from the golf course end of the ground now.
I think it's a bit of a chance that Monang Patel is taking, because Asa Tribe is striking it well, and if Ben Ward could just get a single and get off strike, which will be what he should look to do earlier on in the over.
I was just about to say, look for the block hole here. I think Ali Khan has really got away with one. That was very, very close to being over the waist-high position, the standing position of the batter. That's the law. If it doesn't pitch before the waist-high standing position, it should be a no ball. That was very marginal.
That was a very tight call. Tight call for a no ball there.
It's the square leg umpire who has to really help his partner out, doesn't he? And you could see him indicating he felt it was dipping probably just below into almost the groin region. He's done well to get something on at Ward. Khan's going to look for the block hole. He's going to look for the Yorkers here. He's gone to death bowling.
Asa Tribe is going to go for it.
Right into the block hole and squared it out towards Marty Kane. Keep your eyes on him in the field. You're not going to see too many better or more athletic fielders than Marty King took a stunning catch in his debut series against Ireland there in Florida, sprinting in 20-30 yards from long on and holding on inches from the turf as he fell over to take the catch. He's an extraordinary cricketer to watch, bat, ball and in the field.
Ben Ward and Nasser Tribe just having a chat in the middle there, trying to see how they can work one.
Going to be runs here into the offside, and Jaskar Malhotra, he gives up the chase. Timed well enough by Ward. Second time that Patel has gone to one of his seam options when potentially spin would have been the better call. Spinners have been causing all sorts of issues, and the extra pace, the Jersey batters, they seem to like it.
Jersey batters liking it coming onto the bat. That one, it was sort of a attempted Yorker, but it became a full toss, dispatched with ease. A beautiful cover drive by Ben Hart, picking up 4 valuable runs for Jersey.
Extra pace there. There was a bit of a comeback, wasn't there, from Ali Khan. Didn't like being dispatched to the rope. No fast bowlers do. Jersey going along just under or around a run a ball. 120, 130 is not going to be enough, Eli, you don't think?
That's below the par score on this round. I'd say if they could get up to 150 plus. So they need to utilize these last 5.5 overs that they have to the most. Try and just get this 10 and over. And these two batters, they need to do that.
Into the body this time. Yeah, keep your eyes on Ward in the second innings as well. His leg breaks. I saw him bowling in the warm-up. He looks like he is back to fitness. He's had those shoulder issues. A very fine tournament in the UAE in 2019 at that global qualifier. Impressed all who saw him. Very orthodox leg spinner. Gets good revolutions in the ball. Gets good turn. Wrist spin, an asset you almost just have to have these days in T20 cricket.
Definitely does. That's Benjamin Ward, full name, age 23. He's got a strike rate of 122. Highest of 58 not out. 310 runs under his belt so far in T20 internationals.
Smashed into the leg side out towards Marty Kane, and it won't be 2 to him. 15 gone, 5 to go. It's exactly a run a ball. Jersey have some kind of a platform at 90 for 4. What can they get to?
If these two could bat out the remaining overs, I see them to getting between 140, 150. Like I did say, that would be the par score. 160 would be a defendable total, depending on how they bowl. And 170 would be magnificent place to be. So that means that they would need to up their antics in terms of how they play. One thing that you would need to know about T20 is that you need to be innovative as a bat in terms of how you create the opportunities of scoring runs. You just don't only need to wait on the bad balls that you're given, but you need to find ways of also getting runs off the good balls. I haven't seen that from Jersey yet. They're just waiting on the bad deliveries.
It was really just that one attempt, wasn't it, from John T. Jenner, which he paid the price for, attempting to reverse sweep Patel, being trapped right in front. Patel has done a brilliant job at cutting down the run-scoring options. He's got good protection on the leg side. And it's really only inside-out over extra cover that maybe the batter could look to target hitting with the spin.
Once again, just a single. Good fielding by Marty Kane. He's got a fire of a left hand. He can send it to the keeper in quick time.
He's doing the hard yards, isn't he? Deep mid-wicket to deep mid-wicket. Sprinting what? Probably more than 100 yards. Yeah, 120 yards in between every over. Very fit. Big hit attempted down the ground, and that's a really good stroke. It's not quite going to get to the rope as the long off-fielder Ali Khan will keep it to a couple.
It's fantastic fielding. Mid-off was just slightly wide, and he had to make good distance and the ability to go down and just push it back in without pushing it over the boundary. Good. That's a good fielding. I was about to say that the only way that they can look to attack Nisak Patel is to go straight.
That's the other area. Inside out over extra cover because you're hitting with the spin. And he's got it beautifully. It's going to be a 6 to bring up his 50. An outstanding innings crowned by an audacious shot to get to his half century, coming off just 33 deliveries. He's 18 years of age. We're witnessing a prodigious young talent. The shot of the day for me.
Fantastic shot. It was too full in the slot, and he dispatched it for 6. Good striking by Asa Tribe. And he goes again. That's way up, man on the boundary, but it'll go over his head for another 6. Good striking by Asa Tribe.
And the brilliance of this is we see the 100 come up as well in the 16th over. He's hitting with the spin, and he's backing himself, the youngster. He's hit 6 sixes now, remarkably, in this short stay at the crease, and he's making up for that big mix-up. What a young talent Jersey have found here. We always see this T20 Global Qualifier announce young talents. 8 years ago, 7 years ago, in fact, it was John T. Jenner announcing himself for Jersey in this tournament already on game day 1. It's Asa Tribe.
Strike rate of 173 from Asa Tribe. Bit of change in fielding by Manad Patel. Will he go again, Asa Tribe? He needs to go again. He needs to go again, but also at the same time, he needs to play with that game awareness of where his team is.
He's rather ruined Nisarg Patel's figures. Good piece of fielding again in the deep. Sushant Madani clean with his work, but the most expensive over the innings, I believe, so far has come off the most economical bowler, with 17 runs coming from it, mainly thanks to the young 18-year-old Asa Tribe. Outstanding batting.
Definitely. Nisarg Patel coming into this over. Before that, he had gone for 3 overs for 9 runs. And now it's over 25 that he has conceded. 26 runs in his 4 overs. But it's picked up 2 wickets, which was good.
Still a good spell, but that 17-run final over, very costly indeed. The most expensive of the innings. And Jersey are showing that there is plenty of fight in this batting tail, this batting lineup. Ward joining Tribe, number 3 batter, who's just batted outstandingly. 6 sixes. Rusty Theron is going to probably bowl over 17 and 19. He's got 2 left. But with Ali Khan only having 1 left, it means that we may need to see the 4th over of Netravalkar as well. And right now, Jersey are thinking north of 150 for the very first time.
They have a chance to go north of 150. Definitely they have a chance. And that gives them a very big chance to stay in the game, which they need to. It's the first game, and they definitely need to get off to a good start. So we've got a good game on the cards here.
Worked into the leg side. Will just be probably a single, no real timing. They know that Kane is the gun fielder in this American side. I was doing my work last night, preparation work back at the hotel. I found it almost impossible to work out the 2 qualifying sides. In Oman, we had a great sense that really it was probably going to be between Ireland, UAE, Nepal and the hosts Oman. Here, it really is. Maybe Zimbabwe favourites, certainly, but outside of that, the other qualification spot could go to any of the 7 teams.
Definitely, besides Zimbabwe, it could the second ticket could pretty much go to anyone. But like I did tell you that this is T20, you don't have any formula to it. Especially in the tournament, it could go to anyone.
If we look at the rankings, I know the rankings don't count for much. It's all about how well you play on the day. Jersey 21st in the world, Singapore 20th, USA. They're the lowest ranked in this group, 26. Many are calling them the second favourites in this group with their recent form, beating Ireland there in December and winning the Americas qualifier, getting past Canada in thrilling circumstances in Antigua. But they're actually the lowest ranked side in this group, in Group A.
That counts for nothing.
Big swing and a miss, so nearly bowls Tribe. And just running through the rankings, I know you're telling me it counts for nothing. I'm going to give you them all anyway. Eli, Zimbabwe, the highest ranked team in the tournament. They're 12th. And then in Group B, Hong Kong, 24th. Netherlands, 18th, the highest in that group. Followed closely by Papua New Guinea in 19th and Uganda, 25th. But it shows that USA, the lowest ranked of the 8 teams altogether, many are tipping them as being maybe the contenders for that second qualification spot after the host Zimbabwe.
Definitely they are. Big one connects, and he connects well. That will go over the nets. Huge strike by Asa Tribe. He missed out on the first one, which was a slow ball bouncer, but this one, he waited on it and he picked it up well. 6 runs in the over.
Look at the reaction from Rusty Theron. This is a man who's been around international cricket for 15 years. He has a shake of the head and he says, that's as good a shot as I've seen. Look at this from the youngster. How's he got the elevation and the power to get it over the head of long on? Aaron Jones out there, not just by 2 or 3 yards, but by 10, 15, 20 yards down into the beautifully manicured nets. That is an audacious stroke. The audaciousness of an 18-year-old.
He's got the courage. Rusty Theron would need to finish well on this one. Big heave by Benjamin Ward there, and he misses completely. And I was looking to try to get a big one, but instead they get a dot ball. But all the same, 9 off that over. So it's a good over for Jersey.
A big issue though for the men from the Channel Islands, Eli, as we look at this card. Look at the strike rates. Every single batter, with the exception of Tribe, going at a run a ball or less. All of those strike rates in 2 digits, with the exception of Ward, who's going at 100. Tribe is almost doing this single-handedly. 68, he's got more than half of his side score. And the key for Jersey, these last 3 overs, he needs to face as many balls as possible.
Definitely need to do. This is what I was talking about, the ingenuity of the team in terms of how they go about getting those runs. Don't always look to the traditional forms of scoring runs, but be creative in terms of how you look to go about it. For now, Jersey's approach to this one, they should look to get, if they can't get a boundary, but every ball needs to get a single from it. If they're to get to a decent total, every ball from here on in these last 3 remaining overs.
He's also making these boundaries look very small at the BAC. It's not the biggest ground. Square, we're probably looking at about 65 yards, straight maybe a little bit less. This feels like another crunch over. Netravalkar's going to come around the wicket. Tribe's already taken a liking to him. Hitting him for 2 sixes, but Netravalkar answers him, finds the block hole, and all he can do is squirt it out for the single. And critically, it's not Tribe on strike now, it's Ward.
That's a good ploy by Netravalkar, just giving away the single and bringing in the fairly fresh man that is Benjamin Ward. Has only faced 10 and scored 10 off that. So it gives him a chance, because they all know where they are at in terms of the position of the game. Benjamin Ward needs to get going for his side to get them to a decent total. Both batters need to be scoring runs at this moment in time.
This is where, for me, really, Ward just has one job. It's just to get a single. I don't think he should even be looking at boundary options. Tribe is striking the ball that beautifully. The key for Jersey getting up north of 150. They might even be thinking of 160 right now if Tribe can finish strongly. And look at the tension. This is what this qualifier does. Manak Patel coming up to his former captain, Netravalkar. USA know they've got a game on their hands here.
USA need to restrict Jersey from getting past 130, 140 mark. And they will look to try and keep them from scoring big boundaries in the last over.
Well bowled is the immediate shout from Malhotra, who's at third man. And the reason that one's not being given as a wide, even though it's missed the leg stump, I believe, we'll take another look at it. He's gone so far outside his off stump, it's given the profile. It would have hit the batter in his original stance. And it's a good piece of umpiring. Dot ball.
Definitely it is. Good bowling as well, and I like that initiative by Asa Tribe. You need to find ways to score runs.
Down ground. He's got good power on that, but it's going to be just a couple. Aaron Jones fields well. Sprint back for the second. He'll keep the strike. Tied over this so far. The USA will be happy. 4 runs coming from the 4 deliveries so far.
Good fielding from Aaron Jones and good running between the 2 batters as well to squeeze in 2 runs off that one. So we'll be seeing this quite a lot in these remaining overs that are left. Everybody needs to throw in the kitchen sink and everything that they have from both sides. The fielders will be throwing themselves around and batters will be looking to get a run on every ball that they can.
Cutter ball into the surface and doesn't take on the leg side surprisingly. Holds his shape, goes down the ground. Just a single. Netravalkar will think almost job done. Just one more ball to get through.
I believe the reason why he didn't go to the leg side for that one, he just held it just a little bit on the pitch and he was almost through with the shot and then decided just to play it down to long off and give himself an opportunity for a run.
Job done for Sarab Netravalkar. Not the prettiest looking figures necessarily. He'll finish with 4 overs, none for 32. But given where he was coming into that final over, to concede just 6 runs from that 18th, it's a really good effort. Momentum, so important in T20 cricket with 2 to go. Jersey, they need a big finish. 1-2-2 for 4.
Definitely they need to finish big here, Jersey, and give something to the bowlers that they can be able to defend. 122 so far after 8.
Six. Square boundaries aren't huge there. That thuds into one of the beautiful trees that ring this ground, and Ward has done more than just get a single and get tribe on strike. He struck maybe one of the quickest bowlers in the tournament for an almighty maximum.
I was in the slot and picked it up, holds the pose and watches it go all the way for 6. Good start to the over by Jersey, picking up 6 runs. Pressure's on the bowler. We're getting towards the end of this innings, so definitely it'll be action-packed. What will be the response by Ali Khan? Bangs towards the bowler.
Smash back at him, yeah. That really was nasty for Khan. He's ended up, I think he's either worn it on the arm or maybe he's turned his back on it, and it shows. Bowling fast in T20 cricket. Let's hope he hasn't done himself an injury here. Hit so fast, you can't call that a drop catch. It really was evasive action and real concern here for Ali Khan. Let's hope he's okay. Yeah, it's hit his arm, isn't it?
Definitely.
Nasty to see.
He wasn't even trying to catch it. He was trying to get out of the way because it was struck with such power. And with his action, as he was trying to finish his action, the only way that he could do was just try and turn his back. That's why it ended up hitting him on the forearm there.
What you always want in an instance like this is you don't want the bone to have been struck.
Yeah.
You don't mind if you've got to wear a bruise for your team. If it's caught a bit of the meat, the kind of slightly fleshier part of the arm, you might be okay. I thought at first it might have actually hit him in the kind of back or the side, which would have been all right. But real concern because it's his bowling arm, his right arm, and that was a nasty incident to say the least, Eli.
Yeah, definitely there was a nasty incident. You can just see him wincing with a bit of pain, but I'm sure the magic spray will do the job.
Trying to see if there's any visible.
Seems okay from
bump.
The medic, and saying, nah, I think I'll just walk it off.
Yeah, that's Parmeet Singh, the team physio. He's a tough man, Ali Khan. There's almost nothing else he can do really but that magic spray. Often don't know what it does. It's just a bit of a cooling effect.
Yep.
Might just be thinking, let's get through the final 4 deliveries. He hopefully won't be needed with the bat. He'll also be thinking, and with USA's next game tomorrow, there's always the option for him to rest and come back for the Zimbabwe game on Thursday. But certainly it looks to me like there's hopefully no fracture, no damage to the bone, which is always your concern whenever you see a ball hit towards the arm in particular.
Yeah. Bowlers always have little time in terms of reaction, especially when the ball is hit or flat batted towards you. So you have either just have to do some evasive action and try and get out of the way as much as possible. Still a little bit of pain in trying to just find ways of dealing with it. That is Ali Khan, 3.2 overs, 20 runs conceded so far. It's an economy of 6.
It really was a nasty incident. We wish Ali Khan all the best. And just practices a delivery or two there. Looks like he's all right. Really, you'd have to think that hopefully he'll be able to complete these 4 deliveries, get through his 4-over spell. I do worry for bowlers these days. He's still in a lot of pain. I've seen umpires use helmets and face guards. It won't be too long before we see fast bowlers, in particular in T20 cricket. And Ali Khan,
Oh my God.
he's gone all wrong here. 5 wides, he looks in agony. Someone's going to have to complete his over. He's going to go off. And it's actually given us a no ball, so it's going to be a free hit for the new bowler. Real concern. And great drama on the opening day of America's tournament here, because their strike bowler, their prize asset really, Eli, is certainly going to be out of action from a bowling perspective today. Look at this. Yeah, that arm, the damage that was done from the blow. It's not good to see. Let's hope Ali Khan is going to be all right.
And is walking off the field. Team physio will need to have a good look at that one. I think he underestimated the amount of damage that was done, and the way that he bowled his last ball there will just show you that he really had no control of his arm there. So substitute fielder will have to come into the field of play. See him running across the field.
Yeah, Cameron Stevenson will come on. He won't be allowed to bowl, obviously, and it's going to, I think, fall to Marty Kane, who's going to draw the short straw, because not only will you have to bowl 4 overs in the penultimate over of the game when the batters are going at you, but his first delivery will be a free hit. That no ball does cross over to the new bowler. And our thoughts are with the American side, and particularly Ali Khan. Let's hope that he's all right. I think it would be a big stretch to see him play tomorrow, but let's just hope it's bruising and he will be able to get back into the tournament in the latter stages.
Definitely. We would want all sides to be at full strength, especially in this tournament, and we anticipate some good action. But I'm sure the United States has got quite a number of youngsters that are willing to fill any boots and take up the opportunity that comes their way.
Well, likely it would be Cameron Stevenson from a pace bowling perspective who would come into the side tomorrow. They also have the young left-arm spinner Vatsal Vaghela, who made his debut against Ireland after an outstanding inaugural minor league season on the west coast. Young Yasser Mohammed, the leg spinner. So it's 2 spinners and a seamer they have on the bench, really. Pretty settled batting lineup for USA. For Marty Kane here, very difficult. He's got a ball to Ben Ward, who's... I'll just get those graphics corrected as well. It's a free hit that's hammered away. Jersey moving into this game in a big way. The free hit goes for 6. Very difficult for Marty Kane. That last ball wasn't 4 byes, it was 5 wides, including a no ball. And that is a big hit for 6. It goes past 140 now, the score.
135. So a good strike by Ben Ward in terms of dealing with that no ball. That's a tall order for Marty Kane to come in towards the depth where you really need to come in. You really need to also just have had a good warm-up, but then there was a loosener.
It's also carnage for the scorers. You feel sorry for them here, because not just the 5 no balls, but also the replacement bowler midway through the over. So Ali Khan's 2 legal deliveries went for 13 runs, but now Ali Khan has been replaced by Marty Kane, so we need to get the different bowler in who's only going to bowl 4 legal deliveries. The first one, which was a free hit, that's gone for 6. He's got 3 to go in this very elongated 19th, and he's been smoked for 6 more into that White House, up onto the lawn there, and it's all going Jersey's way in the latter stages of the first innings now.
Well, they needed something special, and then Ben Ward is now taking advantage of the new bowler. Pitched that one short, and the leg side was the targeted area, 6 maximum. Definitely they're targeting that 160 mark that we're looking at to give them a defendable score.
Big swing and a miss, and you can see what Ward is trying to do. All of a sudden he's moved to 32 from just 17. Poor old Marty Kane, not an easy task to do.
.147 now is the score. Comes down the track, and they'll look to try and squeeze 2. Will they come back for the 2? The call is no.
Good fielding from a man who used to be a wicketkeeper. Jaskaran Malhotra gets the job done at long off to keep it to a single. It means Ward will be on strike for Rusty Theron's final over. We thought north of 140 might be a tall task earlier in the innings. Jersey are going to soar past that. They're going to get past 150, 160 definitely on the cards now. If they can have a big final over, they might not just be in this game, they might be on top, Eli.
Coming back, huge 6s that he hit consecutively right there, taking advantage of that injury that happened to Ali Khan. Brought in a new bowler, and they had some fantastic hits into that house right there.
Yeah, what is that house? Is that just a residential property? God, get the old canopies out throughout the next 5 days. You're going to be peppered there in the White House. Good hard length from Rusty Theron. Really do hope that Ali Khan is all right. We'll try and get you an update in between the innings to see how he's progressing. 5 deliveries left with that little salvo from Ward. We've forgotten how good a knock Asa Tribe is playing. He's got a good chance here. 5 deliveries. Got to be thinking of maybe 2 boundaries north of 160.
Definitely. As you noted, Asa Tribe hit quite one just going with the wind, and it will be favouring him. If anything is pitched short, he'll definitely look to go in that direction.
Well bowled, Rusty Theron. Probably a little bit too quick to try and play that stroke too. Haven't felt much wind. Which way does it tend to blow across the ground? To the leg side as the viewer's looking at now?
Yeah, pretty much be going in that direction. Today it's just been overcast and pretty much, some spots of having some wind flow in the general direction, but it's been good all the same, consistent with it throughout right now. Here we go. Rusty Theron.
Brilliant bowling. Just that extra yard of pace that Theron seems to have found in what certainly is the autumn of his career, well into his mid-30s now. He's bowled really effectively today. 150s come up in the 20th. Will USA feel this game has just gotten away from them? A few little critical overs seem to have gone wrong.
I wouldn't say that it has gotten away from them. I think it just gives them they need to work twice as hard. They had a good start. Now they just have lightly lost that advantage that they had. But I believe that it wasn't out of them doing anything wrong, but just squeezed in. That'll go run away for 4.
I'll tell you something, that is brilliant bowling, but even better batting. It's almost that nutmeg, isn't it? The shot that was christened by Nat Seaver.
Definitely, this shot has had quite a few names over the decades. Some would call it the Chinese cut.
It's gone between his legs, though.
Yeah.
He's almost played for it. And it squirted away behind fine legs, right shoulder. Jaskaran Malhotra, he gives his bowler a clap. That was an outstanding delivery.
Definitely.
And an amazing piece of innovation from the batter.
To get into the block hole there, but Jersey will take any way they come.
That's what you get batting first as well. You do get these bonus runs at the end when you're just going hell for leather. You've nothing to lose. Any pressure on USA in this chase. It looks like it'll be in and around 8 and over. Not going to be a formality by any stretch. Jersey will be really pleased with their fight back here. Looks for the switch ramp scoop, and he's been given. We've seen 2 batters try to switch it today. Both of them have been dismissed LBW. And Rusty Theron, he's really deserved that second wicket. He's bowled an outstanding 4-over spell.
Fantastic bowling by Rusty Theron, bowling wicket to wicket. Benjamin Ward looking to be trying to be creative instead of just having a look first at how the ball was going to be. That one would have been crushing between middle and leg. Aino Chabi had no hesitation at all in giving that one out.
They're the decisions you love as an umpire, because there's no hesitation, no doubt at all. But very well batted to the outgoing batter, Ben Ward, who's made a good contribution. And he gets a loud ovation from his teammates. Exactly what they need. I'll give you a quick update from the Zimbabwe game. Just 1 ball to go there. 234 they've made. I believe that's their record total in their T20I history.
That's a good score by Zimbabwe right there. 234 for 5 currently. And they've been run rate is at 11.79. So it's a good start by Zimbabwe. Singapore definitely have a mountain to climb. Mount Everest, if I'm not mistaken.
Keep it at Kilimanjaro. We're in Africa. Come on. We're not back in the beautiful land of Nepal right now. Kilimanjaro to climb for Singapore. You're spot on. Final delivery. Samarier to the crease. And he can't make any contact. They won't even run or attempt to run the bye. Never quite understand that. You've nothing to lose by trying to run it. Instead, it will be a dot ball to close out a brilliant final over. And maybe, just maybe, that little bit of momentum being taken in by USA thanks to a fine 4-over spell. 2 for 28 for Rusty Theron.
Fantastic finish by Rusty Theron. Good figures as well. 2 for 28. So definitely we've got a good game on our cards right here coming to the end of the first innings. Good
as he always does. Good cameo too from Benjamin Ward, but when you think at the halfway stage, they really were in all sorts of bother. They lost their 3rd wicket in the 10th over when Jonty Jenner went reverse sweeping. It was 47 for 3, and even with 11 overs gone, it was 54 for 3. So great fight back in the last 9 overs. They've powered their way up and got that run worm really moving. We'll take a look at the batting card. It was all about the young man, Asa Tribe. How good was that knock, Eli?
That was a fantastic knock, and he came through. That is Asa Tribe at a time when his team needed him the most, striking 73 of 45 as well. Then Benjamin Ward coming in with a fantastic knock of 38 of 22, which was quite good, getting them to a decent total defendable as well. 20 overs, run rate of 7.7. Remember, it was a 3.5 in the first 6 overs in the power play, so it was quite good for them to get up right there. Extras chipping in with 8, total of 154 for 5. That's Jersey.
Yeah, 7 bowlers used for USA. Just the 1 over of Stephen Taylor, and then the card has a strange look to it because Muhammad Ali Khan, maybe you're just tuning in for the first time, wondering what exactly happened. He's taken a really nasty blow in his follow through. A ball hit back at flat batted at breakneck speed. No chance for him to get out of the way. It looks like it's hit what we hope is the meaty part of his right forearm. We really hope there's no damage to the bone for Ali Khan. He did try to continue, but he sprayed one miles down the leg side for what was 5 no balls, which added to that extras total. And then poor old Marty Kane had to bowl the over that was made up. The free hit included that went for 6. As the ground staff go about their work, that's the state of play at the halfway stage. 154 for 5. It means USA will need 155 to win. Myself, Andrew Leonard, and Eli are going to be back with you with every single ball in the second innings. Do come and join us probably about 10 minutes time. We'll see you then. A very good morning and a very warm welcome back to rather wonderful Bulawayo Athletic Club here. We're in the second.
Well, Jersey have been on the African safari for quite a while, so definitely they will be looking to utilize the little experience that they have.
They call it the southwest of the country for this ICC Men's T20 World Cup Qualifier B. Here, strong American Group A action to get the tournament going. 8 teams are here playing out for 2 qualification spots. No surprise to see spin starting things for Jersey. Lots and lots of spin options. In fact, it's really just the 2 seamers that we'll see for them. And even the captain.
So we get to see how the captain utilizes his bowlers during this tournament, but we'll speak more particularly about this game, what we can look forward to.
A seamer. Andrew Leonard here with you. We've got Stephen Taylor and Monank Patel. 14 group getting things underway for USA. The first runs have come off.
In Singapore, they'll be playing out across the bowling sports ground here in Bulawayo, which is probably the main Harrison. Bulawayo. 2 beautiful venues that we have for this tournament.
Carly and
2 fantastic venues, and definitely you will have plenty of action. BAC might be just slightly smaller than Queens, and you can look for plenty boundaries to be coming through, so it's going to be exciting. But for the bigger action, I'm sure you can be looking towards to go to Queens, where you can see people trying to attempt to go for the bigger boundaries. So definitely you'll see good action at both sites that we have for this tournament.
Since taking up the captaincy, he hasn't been able to stop making runs. American fans will be hoping that can continue here today. As the quick single again run to Gadget. On-call ambulance drives past us. Didn't even see that ball, but it did give me the chance to look into the eyes and welcome back my co-commentator Eli, who's rejoining me. This game feels like it's hanging on a knife edge at the halfway stage.
Definitely is hanging on a knife edge. All to play for the 2 teams.
Definitely, we should be expecting some good crowds to come through. Do remember that Zimbabwe did host qualifiers early on in 2018, and we had fantastic crowds coming through at Queen's Sports Club. So anticipating that
get some work done. They thought
pull
that
the
it was going
crowds,
to be
but all the same, even these ones,
from the way that they started off, and it looked that way. But like I said, this is T20. Anything can change in a matter of 2 overs, of which it did.
Jersey. Quite a few parents of the youngsters that are playing in Jersey, they have been in the city for the past few days. They've been doing some sightseeing, so we've got some travelling fans coming through to watch the game.
They always travel a good number leg side. It'll be a quick single. Supporters, big hitting attempt to jet. We've seen that once you get in on this wicket, there is the potential to go through the gears and really catch up. Asa Tribe's innings of the ground was the mainstay for Jersey. Young 18-year-old golf course end. He was sensational. 4 overs, absolutely down the ground into the leg side. That one thuds into the pad, full straight.
United States bowling attack, and we're looking to him to utilize the pace that he has.
Maybe just going on with the arms and this leg stump.
He should be expected to get some really good bounce play on in the morning as well.
Sir was not convinced I was going to hit anything.
Tends to tail the ball away from the right-handers with the new ball, and
I was going to miss leg stump.
We're not perfectly behind the stumps there either, so there's that slight angle which will make it a little bit deceptive looking on at home. You need to have made that ball turn to go on just cannon into leg or middle stump, but maybe a good decision just that extra pace he has with the arm that causes such a threat early, such X factor.
A good start by Ali Khan. You can see just tailing away from the right-hander there. Good pace, and he's got good shape coming through to the crease, fluid in terms of his action. So it's a good start by the United States bowlers. One thing that you realize about T20 is that this game, it's all about the runs, and that's for batters, and then for bowlers. Dot balls, they go a long way. So definitely how they've started, they should utilize that a little bit more.
Team, but that is breaking news. Ali Khan is slight misfield by Sushat Madani at the hospital point for an X-ray. Also a power pack look incredibly batting line as it happened. Seen them have a remarkable good preparatory tour, 6 matches for Namibia to tried to continue bowling. We do wish him well. Let's hope that losing 3. Sometimes with these injuries, you can just get very heavy bruising around a part of the body. These 2 sides being his bowling arm, USA may well see one of the stars of the tournament ruled out on day 1.
True that. We hope that these early predictions.
And as for Jersey, quite a fairly young side that they have here, and their batters what they need to get early on. If they're not going to be striking the ball, they need to be getting those singles.
Jersey's tactic in T20 cricket is a simple one, but it's a very effective one. Keeping a little bit low as well. He can already down on the scoring options for the opposition.
in the
Definitely
game.
what that strategy does is that you're making the batsmen work hard for their runs. If you're bowling well as well, they need to being have stuck at the crease on that one.
In order
He had
to
little
make
fit movements,
through the gaps,
and that's why he ended up
that United States would
collapsing onto
utilize
his
the power
knees
play
slightly
a
there.
little bit much better than what Jersey did.
The pace of Ali Khan
for
just
now,
outdoing him there.
a
Lucky
good
that he
start
didn't
that
get any
Jersey
outside
have
edge
done so far.
We're just experiencing, I
With
believe,
the
a
leg
few
side
audio
quick
issues. We're going to try and get those patched up. Our apologies for
Wicketkeeper
that.
picks up cleanly. He's back from a hand injury, and they will get through for the single.
To get
Chilly
my
morning,
team
isn't
working
it?
on that as quickly as we can.
Is it as cold as it
The
gets?
audio just
Winter here.
coming over each other. You don't want to hear both of us at the same time.
exactly
Do you,
like
Eli? You want to hear me
good
or
weather.
you? Not both of
Does
us.
get to lower temperatures. Yeah, there's minimum is on 8. We're just lucky that there's no wind at all. So that is
Tight start this from Jersey. Plenty of power in the
good weather.
American
But
weather.
clear up according to the weather
Tell
forecast.
very elegant.
So we'll be having those nice
insanely powerful.
sun and it'll be baked
Jones.
You're not sure why we run
Not a big six hitter. Gadjanan Singh, keep your eyes on him, the left-hander as well.
Definitely lots of power hitting players that the United States has. But the way that they've gone about their start, just picking up the singles.
There is that power from Stephen Taylor. It's so languid and elegant, isn't it? Barely a Bulawayo. Very different city to Harare. More of a sort of a large country town. Very relaxed, very chilled out with local vibes.
Definitely, that's the vibe in Bulawayo. Chilled. We take it nice and easy like a Sunday morning. Just to give you some stats on the Jersey batsman that we have at the moment, that is Harrison Caron. He's got 18 matches under his belt, strike rate of 112, 250s under his belt.
Again, just rush for pace, hurry. Two very tight overs to start things for USA at the end of the second over. Jersey 4 for none. Hopefully our graphics now up and we'll be able to bring the two starting 11s. 3 players missing from both 14 men squads, 14 players in all of the squads. And for Jersey, the 3 that are missing now, that's Dan Birrell, Zach Tribe and Reece Palmer. But the big boost is, of course, Ben Stevens and Ben Ward in the side. And keep your eyes out for the spinning options of this team. Jonty Jenner, one of the star batters in this team as well. And for USA, 3 players missing out, the 2 youngsters, Yasser Mohammed and Batsal Vaigela, the 2 spin options, both not being picked. So contrasting views from the 2 camps. USA going very, very seam heavy, going out with their quick bowlers. Jersey, they're going with their spinners.
I think what all this does is that it works out well for the way in which the toss went, because early on in the morning I can say that it'll be pretty good for pace, and then later on in the day, the sun comes up, it'll be
into the attack. I was having a chat to him before the game. He said, we've only got 2 seamers and one of them's me, and I can't really call myself a seamer. The throwback to sort of older style of cricket, isn't he? Military medium, stump to stump, keeper up, going to bowl very tight lines. He's not going to give you any pace to work with, and he's very, very effective. He's going to challenge the batter to come down the crease and try and change something, do something different.
It's a good ploy by the skipper, bowling wicket to wicket, especially in this format of the game. It means that the batsman would need to create room in order to play the shots that he does, and gives him, the bowler, the opportunity of, you miss, I'll hit.
It reminds me hugely of a great cricketer of the 90s. This was very much in vogue in one-day cricket in the late 80s, early 90s, mid-90s England, the likes of Mark Elam, Adam Hollyoak. It reminds me so much of a Kiwi, Chris Harris. His hairline was a little bit like yours and mine, Eli. But it's the same kind of idea. It's bringing the ball back into the right-hander, angling away, and maybe the occasional leg cutter as well.
Definitely. A good start by the skipper, 3 dot balls. He needs to finish off well.
Yeah, bowling to his opposite number as well. He'll enjoy that. 3 dots followed by a single. We'll see a lot of this though from Jersey. We saw them in 2019 at the qualifier, often bowl sometimes even 6 different bowlers in the power play, as we see a warning for the skipper.
Langton Dresseri just warning the skipper that stay off the dangerous part of the pitch, which is pretty much the line in between the stumps. So you're running a little bit too close to the danger area. Try and stay off as much as possible. United States needing 137 of 104 balls to get this one.
Yeah, they look so much to Taylor at the top of the innings to get them off to a flyer. He really almost has that Chris Gale role of just going for everything. Whereas Patel, he's much more stylish. He does take a bit of time, but he's added power to his game. Superb innings. His maiden ODI century there in Texas last month. And he's just got better and better since he's taken the captaincy. Going to be a dead ball signalled, and Chuggy Pritchard not too happy with that. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe someone just distracting Taylor from behind the bowler's arm. The batter entitled to pull away, and umpire probably rightly signalling dead ball there.
I wasn't ready. As you can see, that Pritchard, he doesn't really have that much of a long run up, so he can quickly get through to the stumps and bowl through.
Hit on the bounce straight to the cover fielder. Great first over from Chuggy Pritchard. Just one run coming from it. Shows you don't need extreme pace, you just need a game plan in T20 cricket. 3 gone, USA going at a run of ball. It's 18 for none.
The Jersey, they're really not giving away too much. Good start by the Jersey bowlers. Good lines, good length. Full square drive. It was still full and out just outside of stump, and he drove it well. You can see by the reaction of the fielders, didn't move much. This shows you how beautiful a shot it was. Good start to the over for United States. A boundary to go with that one.
Thuds into the thigh pad this time. It's a better length. That's that kind of hard length that we saw Rusty Theron exploit very well.
Good comeback from the bowler. Definitely needed to get his lines right, and instead of it being full again, just pulling it back to the hard length, and it yields in a dot ball. So definitely Jersey bowlers, they're quite aware in terms of what they need to do, and they've got, seems as if they've got their plans in order in terms of how to deal with it.
Squirts off an inside edge, will just be a single. How difficult is it for a side like Zimbabwe, who may not have seen much of the likes of USA or Jersey or Singapore? It hasn't counted against them today. They've posted 236 across at the Queen's Ground, their record total.
But the unknown of some of these associate sides that Zimbabwe haven't played much cricket against, that's going to provide a challenge for them.
It will be quite interesting to see how Zimbabwe goes about it, but from what I've seen so far in terms of looking at how they have batted against Singapore, they've just stuck to their strengths and seem to utilize the knowledge of the pitch that they're playing on and the advantage of being on home soil to try and get to a good total and power through the tournament.
Fortunate there, the bowler, because it was really an out-and-out half volley. Taylor smashed it, but straight to the cover point fielder, who's cut it off pretty well. Taylor looks very elegant when he gets going.
Definitely looks like a cool, calm and composed customer. Knows his strengths and is not intimidated by how loud the Jersey players are in the field. If it's in the slot, he will go for it.
Slight change of pace, and Taylor happy to dead bat it for a single. USA off to a comfortable start, but not flying away with things at the same time. They're going at a run of ball. 4 gone. It's 24 for none. Change of ends for Elliot Miles, the left arm spinner. And he's going to be bowling to Stephen Taylor. You just get a sense, don't you, sometimes, of something about to happen. Is this an over where something's going to happen, be it runs or wickets?
Definitely seems like so, and I'm anticipating runs.
Not an ounce of air in that delivery. Darted in. Doesn't want to be punished down the ground. For the left-hander, he's gone with long on and deep mid-wicket out. He'll prefer bowling to the right-hander here.
Definitely you will. That is Miles. So far, it's been an expensive start. Went for 14 in his first over. And would look to try and do better in this one and try and keep his side in this game. It's an even Stevens at the moment. Both teams have the potential to take this one away. USA with a good start. Meanwhile, Jersey have also put up a pretty good score on this ground.
Darted in, hit down towards the long on fielder, Jonty Jenner, who'll keep it to just a single. Do you get a little sense from the two American openers that they're just wanting to get a few more boundaries in this power play?
Definitely, they seem to be wanting the ball to pretty much come onto the bat. Like that last shot, Manoj Patel had to put quite a little bit of effort in terms of getting it out. He seems like he wanted to go straighter, but
of Zimbabwean cricket, their former head coach. Alan Butcher with him, and oh, that's a missed chance, definitely. It was darted in very, very flat indeed, and that has to go down as a missed stumping. Wasn't an easy one, but Jake Dunford didn't really get any glove on it. It just thudded into his pad, and Patel survives.
well, like we did say, that the United States opening pair looking to try and get some runs earlier on, coming down the track, missing it completely. Unfortunately for him, keeper also just managed to just kick it off his pads.
Bye was signalled. You can see the shape of the strokes from Taylor and Patel. There's a frustration building for the American batters.
American batters are trying to look to play their shots, but it's not yielding them the runs that they would want to go with the shots. That means that's good batting ploy by the Jersey players at the moment. And Miles would need to finish off well with this one. He needs to keep it either to nothing or just a single.
Darted in again, and I think he's got away with one there. I think if Taylor could have that again, he'd go over the offside. But a tight over, 3 runs off the bat, a bye and a couple of dots. So with 5 gone, Jersey might feel, despite the lack of an early breakthrough, they'll be happy with their start so far, 28 for none. Another change of bowling. The off spin of Caroline. Come in, and Patel loves hitting straight down the ground, but there's protection down at long on, so it'll just be a single. Do you sense a way out of this frustration for the openers? They don't want to get too far behind the rate here, USA.
Definitely they should look to try and keep an eye on the run rate required, which is one of the most key things when you're chasing a score. You don't want that required run rate to get away from you. But I must say it's been good ploy by the Jersey skipper in terms of how he's using his bowlers, removing pace off the ball. The United States batters needing to work for their runs here, and it's yielding quite good for them. They're almost through the power play, and only 30 runs have been scored so far. So
any Neil McRae coach side is going to be well drilled, but when you add in that experience of Alan Butcher, who's come in as a sort of consultant coach for this tour of Africa, finally a breaking, a loosening of the shackles. Just a flick, and it's cannoned right off the roller and back onto the pitch. Evasive action taken by the ground staff, and a big hit, the first 6 from USA in the chase. That's the power Taylor possesses.
Power, and in the slot, a combination of those, and you get a 6 maximum at BAC. A beautiful shot it is, and that is a good way to start off the last over of the power play. So definitely you think that the United States will be going for this one to try and get as many as they can inside the power play.
Just that angle in, wasn't it, that Taylor has exploited so well. It was just a flick because the extra pace from the darting in off breaks. This one, much better line. It's out towards the wide line. And you can get away with it there because Taylor has to play across the line. He's better going over extra cover, but he wanted to target the leg side again.
Exactly, looking just to drag it from off to the leg side, which is pretty much something that you don't need to do because you just might get a top 8 from that one.
This one powered down the ground, and I think half a stop. I'm going to give the fielder some credit there for probably saving, if not 3 runs, definitely 1 with just a hand at mid-on. Good work from the Jersey fielders.
Oh, good from the fielders throwing himself at that one and just taking the pace off it. Because if he had missed that, that was running away all the way for 4. So good stop, good cricket.
Chipped just over the head of the mid-off fielder. That's the skipper. Won't be able to cut off the second. You sense that USA are desperate for another boundary or 2 in this power play. No real power from Patel, but he got enough of it to get it over the head of his opposite number.
A good ploy there by the bowler. Pace off the ball, meaning that the batsman has to provide the power, and you're hitting against the wind as well, and taking a sort of like a calculated risk that Mohammad Patel took there.
Loses his shape again, and Patel swinging away a bit like a rusty gate at the moment. Leg byes are going to be signalled. He's only got 14 off 18. At the end of the power play, I think it's honours even. The score, USA 38 for none.
end of the power play, I would give the power play to Jersey so far. They've done well leading up to this one, just restricting the United States to 39. The worm there, just slightly above what Jersey was going at. That's the United States. And they would pretty much want to go slightly higher than that, so that that required run rate will not run away from them. The worm is slowly going up, but yeah, good start by Jersey so far into the game, defending 154.
Don't hold this against me, Eli. I'm not saying this because I was a wrist spinner, because I love leg spin more than anything. This game and the context of this group is going to be shaped by the 8 overs of wrist spin we're going to see here now. I'm going to start with Dom Blampied. He's a beautiful leg break bowler. Bowls a little bit flatter than Ward does, and we'll see the leg breaks coming up later on as well. So 8 overs of wrist spin they have at their disposal. We could see all of them. How USA play them will decide the course of this game.
Definitely it will. If I was in the United States dressing room, just having a look at how they've started so far, I'll take a quick single down to mid-wicket region. Just to continue on my point, was just to say, as much as they like the ball coming onto the bat, I'll tell my players, just wait a little bit for the ball. Just wait for it. You might get something out of it, because at the moment the United States play, they look like they're going hard at the ball, but they're not getting that same response from the ball coming onto the bat.
What Chuggy Purchard is doing, the Jersey captain right now, he is daring the American batters to take a risk. He's saying you're going to have to take risk to hit boundaries, but this time his bowlers let him down. Blampied's over-pitched, and it's been hit away through the offside. Stylishly played by Taylor. He hasn't looked to overhit. He did what you said he'd like. He waited for the ball.
Waited on the ball, and a fantastic shot that he played with ease and grace, and he picked up the gap as well, and it ran all the way for 4. So you don't really need to put too much power into it, but just time it well, and the outfield will help you out in getting runs.
Now dragged down and hit out, and oh, it's been put down. That would have been a quite brilliant catch. Jersey, they pride themselves on their fielding, and it's gone straight in and out of the hands of the big fast bowler. Samarier, he got there, but he's put it down.
A missed opportunity. That's an opportunity gone down. Catches win matches, I would say. Stephen Taylor looking to use power, and he picked out the man in the deep who ran so much and got to the ball, but that impact of falling onto it just slipped out of his hand.
I think he actually had it at first, didn't he? It was the impact of the dive that has made the ball pop out, and Taylor just picked up on the drag down. It wasn't the length that Blampied was probably looking for, and he's going to get some treatment from the physio as well now, the deep mid-wicket fielder. The reason for that, I think the umpire rightly thinks that he might have had a bit of contact to the head. So any contact to the head, whether you're batting, bowling or in the field, you're going to go through the mandatory concussion check here. He did look a little shaken up as he came to.
Yeah, definitely. We've already had one injury, so we don't want any more medical stuff. Just checking on him, just having a chat to see if he's fine. Feels like he's ready to continue with play.
If you are just waking up, probably on the East Coast in New York or North Carolina where there's so much cricket, or Florida or Atlanta, it's 5:45 a.m. on the East Coast. I think I've got my time zones right there. And I know plenty of American fans who are messaging in to me have mean that Taylor starts to look very comfortable in the 30s. You cannot drop Stephen Taylor. He's too good a player. That drop catch from Sumeria could be a big moment.
Those are the chances that might leave to cost Jersey, but they would just need to keep on working at it.
It's a little bit out of the front of the hand. That's something he bowls the slider, so it's kept a bit lower. Jones does get it away. 8 gone, 55 for 1. Who is in the ascendancy right now, Eli? Very hard to call.
I'd say Jersey have got slight edge over the United States at the current moment, because I feel that the United States, they gave the wicket away there of their captain right there. He didn't really need to play that shot. After Jersey had that drop catch of Stephen Taylor, then in the next ball they're getting a wicket. So Jersey would be pretty much happy with how things are. They would really like to tighten things just a bit. So that's how it is. Benjamin Ward back in the attack. Oh, my apologies, there'll be a change in bowling right there. Try and get you who's coming up for the United States to bowl at the moment. Still continuing with the spin, that's Jersey. So it's more of a spin attack like you had predicted there, Andrew Leonard.
But it's going to be a change in the spinner. It's not going to be the leg break bowler. It's going to be another one of the all-round options for Jersey, the big tall left arm spinner Ben Stevens. Cut away powerfully by Jones. He's got that behind square, but not enough for a boundary. Will get back for 2. He's very quick between the wickets. Surprised to see the leg spinner being taken off. They're going to get an overthrow here. That's how quick Jones is, and that's very quick thinking in good cricket. Doesn't just get the 3 runs, but he gets Taylor back onto strike to face the left arm spin. Brilliant cricket.
Good running in between the wickets. Good call, loud and clear. And the informed Stevens, who seems to have found a formula in terms of how to go about things, 36 off 25 at the current moment, is on strike.
He's a beautiful batter to watch, Stephen Taylor, but just isn't a wicket that you're able to score from right from the off. We've seen anyone who's got any acceleration, they've had to be in there for a while, gauge the pace of the wicket. Where do USA want to be with let's say 6 to go? They never want that required run rate to get above 10 and over, do they?
No, definitely. If they can keep it under 10, that would be perfect. In fact, under 8 or 9, they really need to get close to it as much as possible to give them a chance of not building pressure towards the end. These singles will work in their favor, because there are runs that they're getting, and if they get a boundary in the over, they will be pretty much a good over for them, because so far they're all 4 already. Get a boundary at 8, so definitely it's a good start for them.
Acrobatic tumbling take from Jake Dunford as the throw from Juggy Percher was just a little bit low. He gets an apology from the skipper. Will Taylor target the left arm spinner here? Darted in, nothing for him to work with, and it's a critical dot. Are USA making it a little bit harder for themselves than maybe they could?
Well, at the current moment, I think they're in a safe space. They are tracking it quite easily. What will be important is that they don't lose another wicket, or they don't get blocked down by just getting too many dot balls. And as we say that, Stephen Taylor drives beautifully through the covers, picks up a boundary, 4 good runs. Fantastic shot.
And this is the brilliance of Taylor. It's not just one side of the ground he'll punish you on. And he's got such beautiful wrists here. Look at the way he finds the gap perfectly by opening the face, holding the shape, and waiting for the ball. Like you keep saying, Eli, that's a lovely shot. You tend to think of a left-arm spinner bowling to a left-handed batter being worried about the leg side, but Taylor has opened up the offside, accessed it, and now it's a big over for USA, one of the biggest of the innings so far.
Like I did say, just wait on the ball a bit, and you will find the gaps and you will pick up boundaries. That's a good start, a good play by Stephen Taylor.
Can't get the single, so 9 runs come from that over. Take a look at the Manhattan chart as the score moves to 64 for 1 at the end of the 9th. No really big skyscrapers for USA so far, and you can see that late innings acceleration from Jersey, meaning that USA, even though they're maybe ahead of where Jersey were at this stage of the game, they're still going to have to catch up.
They will have to catch up, but one thing that you'll need to take a look at, which works in the United States advantages in the wickets column, they've only lost one wicket at 64 runs. And in T20, knowing that keeping wickets towards the later end, it gives the batters that are inside the opportunity to attack a little bit more and go after it. With the shorter boundaries that we have here and the power hitters that we have in the United States, they're still in the game.
We saw there 7 bowlers used already for Jersey. Nicely bowled. And there is that turn from this BAC wicket that we expected. And the reason for the turn, A, wrist spin, but B, a little slower through the air. Really nicely bowled. Jones works that into the leg side. The immediate call is for 2, and good running will see them get home comfortably. Loud cheers from the American bench. How big is this tournament for Zimbabwe, not just to host, but to bring down here to Bulawayo? It's been a long time without major cricket here due to the pandemic.
Definitely. It's good to have cricket in the city of kings and queens, so it spreads the action across the country.
We saw massive crowds back in 2018 at the 50-over qualifier, didn't we?
Exactly. So definitely we're looking for the same kind of feel, same kind of atmosphere that we're looking to get here. So just watch for the crowds as the tournament progresses. We will get them. And I believe if we could just have a look at Queensland, we might have a decent crowd today.
Oh, big full toss, and the umpire looks at the square leg umpire. Jones is looking for a signal here, but he's not going to get it. Again, probably just maybe getting the benefit of the doubt, dipping beneath Jones. Jones is not a tall man. That was probably marginal again. A big dirty full toss from Ward.
You feel that's a missed opportunity? In terms of scoring at that one, it seems that he came off the toe end of the bat. You could tell by the sound that it made off the bat. He really didn't get that because he would have licked to just power hit it away.
Stylishly played by Taylor down to long off, but no boundary possible in this over. 87 required from 61 balls. It's still hovering around that 8.5 and over, but as you say, with just 1 wicket down, the power hitting of Malhotra and Gajanan Singh in particular, whose game just continues to evolve and get more and more impressive at the international level to come, USA will still feel comfortable, if a little nervy.
Benjamin Ward operating quite well. Will look to finish well.
For Aaron Jones, that's more of his game. He works the ball around, not necessarily a massive power hitter. Get to the halfway stage of the chase. 10 gone, 69 for 1. I still think this game is too tight to call, Eli.
It's a tense one at the moment. Just match summary as it goes. 20 overs. Jersey scoring 154 in the allotted 20 overs. Asa Tribe scoring 73 of 45. Benjamin Ward a good knock of 38 of 22. Nisak Patel 2 for 26. And currently the United States after 10 overs they are on 69 for 1. Going at a run rate of 6.9. And they will need 86 from the 10 remaining overs. So, like I said, it's quite evenly balanced at the moment. It could be anyone's game. If Jersey were to pick up a couple of wickets, it'll put USA under quite enormous pressure. But however, the same would be said if the United States were to get a few boundaries or a good over. It would also pull towards in their direction.
You sense they need that one big over to put the game maybe really in their advantage. I think at best it could be maybe 60-40 towards the USA right now. You always get a reasonable sense from the Duckworth-Lewis par, which we see our scoring team do across to the right. Not because we're going to get any rain, but the DL par at the halfway stage, as they just get it up there, is 66. So in theory, USA 3 ahead. But the game is on that knife edge.
Definitely on the knife edge. The good thing about the United States at the moment that they're just tugging away the singles. That's allowing them to go at least 6 and over and gives them the opportunity to accelerate and build a platform for the rest of the batters that they need. But right now, Jersey, what they need is a wicket to put the screws a little bit more onto the United States. So if they can pick up a wicket in the next over or in this over, it'll all work in their favor. With that, going for the block hole, well bowled. And
the thing, Eli, with the required run rate of around 8.5 and over, every time you have a dot, that run rate, it doesn't just go up a little bit, it goes up quite significantly. You need a boundary almost every over. If you go an over without a boundary, that run rate required is going to, without doubt, almost certainly go up. That's all Jersey are trying to do. They're trying to squeeze the death out of this game. They're changing their bowlers. They're squeezing in the field. Every over without a boundary, they feel like they're an over closer to maybe taking what would be a huge victory.
I'd call it good captaincy from Jersey so far. The captain himself, the man that is bowling for Jersey at the moment, in his second over on conceded 3, bowling a tight line, wicket to wicket. Slow ball, just gives away a single.
And the question I have for you is, how long can USA afford to knock the ball around here? When are they going to have to start really going for those boundary options, trying to find, albeit the very narrow gaps in the outfield?
I think it's the same thing that I said earlier on before, that if you should, as a batting team or as the senior batters, don't look for the traditional ways of scoring runs. Oh, good attempt, Stevens.
And that was it. He's just done something different. He's given himself room outside the leg stump, albeit a bit chancily. He's got the boundary that USA needed. Pritchard so economical to that point. Very nearly finds a second wicket, but I don't think we can call that a chance. It's gone just to the right of the backward point fielder, who puts in a really good diving effort.
Caron just diving quite well to try and get to that one. And like I did say, if it gets past the fielder, it'll run away to the boundary and you get 4 runs for that. So fortuitous runs, I would say, for Stephen Taylor right there.
And an audible shout of frustration, which we're not going to repeat here in the commentary box. 11 gone. This is enthralling stuff. Every qualification tournament, that's what associate cricket brings you. Great drama. 11 gone, 76 for 1.
A brilliant game that we have on the cards, and Leonard. One thing that I'm liking about this game is that despite these two sides having played each other in Namibia, no one is really giving the one who won the respect to saying, okay, you've beat me before, but you know what? Jersey are giving it everything that they have. They're not giving away anything for it. They want to be in this game. And that just highlights the value of the 2 tickets that are up for grabs to go to the World Cup. You need this kind of cricket whereby you put away the results of games from the past and say, let's play it like it is right now. Let's look at this game that we're having right here in this moment.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, maybe you're just tuning in for the first time, you could have just had that early wake-up call in New York or New Jersey or somewhere on the east coast of the United States, or maybe you're watching back in the Channel Islands or wherever you're watching. Joining us live on ICC.tv. It's fantastic to be with you. Andrew Leonard here. I've got the great man, Eli. Come on, Eli. Give me the pronunciation of your surname, the correct pronunciation. I don't want to butcher it again. Come on, Eli.
Tamirepi.
One more time, please.
Tamirepi.
Tamirepi. Okay, we're going to get there. Maybe not day 1, day 2, day 3. I mean, you're going to have to teach me some. What was the local language you were telling me about earlier?
Ndebele. Isi Ndebele, yeah.
Seems to be it's almost like a poetry to the local language, isn't it?
Definitely. It's rich in poetry.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
Exotic and beautiful, like all the local people, including yourself, Eli. Change of bowling, some area into the attack. Jones will probably prefer the extra bit of pace on the ball. And it seems like there's a bowling change every over from Jersey.
Good use of the bowlers by Jersey. They've seen that pace off the ball has kept them in the game so far, which I think that's a good tactic. This over will be key in terms of how they go about using their pace bowlers. So Somalia would look to try and keep it to a decent over and not let them get on top of him like what they did to Netrovalka in the Jersey innings.
If you're wondering why we're saying it feels like every over is key, it really does feel like every over is key. Every single swing of momentum that we've seen throughout this game, it's been enthralling stuff in just match 1 here. It's a bit of a one-sided game over at the Queen's Club. Zimbabwe are going to run out very comfortable winners against Singapore, no doubt, but what that means is it makes this game all the more critical. Whoever wins this will put themselves into the box seat to take one of the 2 qualification places alongside Zimbabwe. Singapore really struggling in the 11th, 64 for 4. They're going to come up well short of Zimbabwe's record T20I total. It almost feels like a must-win game here for both USA and Jersey.
Edged. And a runaway for 4. Aaron Jones, seeing it outside off stump, went for it and got a thick outside edge. The wicket keeper, valiant effort in terms of diving for that one. He just pitched outside off stump and then went for it.
And the
critical thing is here, third man up in the circle, but that's part of the tactic from Jersey to squeeze USA, but the extra pace, it has paid the price, and Jones, who has really just guided the ball around, knocked it around for singles, does get above a run of ball, picks up a hook shot this time, well on the back foot, so he won't be able to get back for the second. At required run rate, it seems to consistently hover around 8.5 and over.
Definitely. So, like I did say that this will be quite an interesting over, the use of pace. That's what we're seeing, that thick outside edge going all the way through to the boundary. It just feels as if anyone who's brought into the attack, you really need to bring your A game into this one to keep your team within defending that score for Jersey.
Worked into the leg side, no timing. Jones may consider a second. He won't be able to get back again. Jersey agile in the field. It's the skipper quick off his mark out at long on. We'll explain at the end of this over a bit more about the tournament, its structure, exactly how it works. The reason, though, we're saying it feels like a must-win game, you've got to finish in the top 2 in your group to have any chance of going to Australia 2022. Won't be a second boundary in the over, but it will be 9 runs from the over. That's just a fraction above what USA need. So with 12 gone, the score 85 for 1. Andrew Leonard here with Eli. And Eli, this tournament, it's a very simple structure. 5 game days. This is game day number 1. 2 groups of 4. We're watching the Group A action where the top-ranked Zimbabwe are joined by Jersey, Singapore and USA. Zimbabwe well on track for a big win to get things going. Then in Group B, it's Hong Kong, the Netherlands, Papua New Guinea and Uganda. Very simple. 3 group games on Monday, Tuesday and after the rest day on Thursday will decide the 2 semi-finalists. The top 2 in each group will then play in the critical matches that happen at the same time. 1 game across at Queen's at 1 o'clock. In fact, 1:30 local time, and then 1 game here at the BAC at 1:30 local time. That's where first in Group A play second in Group B, and then the flip of that, first in Group B play second in Group A. And that day, on what I'm already dubbing Fantastic Friday, is going to decide who goes down to the World Cup.
Definitely does. So plenty of action that we can look forward to. That is on ICC TV, and as well as for the local Zimbabwean fans that love cricket here. You've got good 5 days of fantastic cricket to look forward to.
In those 5 days, we'll have 20 matches, because even if you finish in 3rd or 4th in your group, you'll still play out your classification matches. Second rest day then is very well timed on the Saturday, so if you do happen to qualify on the Friday, you can enjoy your celebrations of getting off down to Australia before the final day of play, which will have the grand final itself at the Queen's Ground. Jones here with a dot ball and then just bunting a full toss for a single, just causing some concern for USA fans, I suspect.
Definitely, because the way in which the United States are going at the moment, as much as they want to keep wickets in hand, what they need to keep a close eye on is the run rate that is required and the overs remaining in order for them to remain in this game. So at some point, this pair, one of them will need to go at it and seek to be the more attacking of the two. Steven Taylor is, like I did say, cool, calm, composed customer, just looking to strike the ball around, and if he does get the bat ball, he'll dispatch it. But in T20, you need more than that in order for yourself to give a fighting chance, because at the moment, Jersey will be happy with the way things are at the current moment.
We're just getting a check on that. Taylor not quite to 50 yet, just 1 shy, he's on 49. There was a few handshakes. Now, I think our scoreboard to our left is indicating Taylor is what our scorers have on 49. Fact, we are now getting confirmation it is 50, both our scorer and the scoreboard at the ground. A little behind time, we'll apologise for that. 37 balls it's come from. Taylor's 50 is driving this chase. You sense that if he's still there in 7 or 8 overs time, it will be USA that will take the first win on the opening day.
Well, this is T20. I hope you're not cursing the young man. And he'll be out in the next ball.
Nearly a mix-up between the 2 batters, and this is a tight over from Miles. You'll take a look at that 50 for Steven Taylor, come off 37 deliveries, 5 4s and 2 6s. The issue hasn't been at Taylor's end, it's been at the far end. Patel really struggled, and now Jones, although he's got 20 off 18, he just can't get anything going.
Well, like you did say, that Aaron Jones does take his time to get in. You like striking the ball around. But at this current moment in time, you need to be able to work more than your usual strategy. And you see that creativity coming through. A good use of a huge stride by Stephen Taylor and working it to the leg side with fine leg inside the circle. Picks up 4.
Didn't they need that boundary? Just the 3 singles from that over up to that point, including a couple of dots. And Taylor says, I've got to do something here. Gets down on one knee, well outside the off stump. So in essence, it's a free hit. You can't be out LBW if you're outside the line playing a shot. And great manipulation of the ball behind square. Got more than enough of it to pick up that boundary. And right now, USA continue to stay in the game. They're not ahead of the game, but they're right in the game and in the chase.
Just to update you on what's happening at the other ground, Zimbabwe playing Singapore. Zimbabwe getting off to a flying start. 236 for 5 is what they scored in their allotted 20 overs. And currently Singapore are on 72 for 5, chasing 237. So they need 165 from 44 balls with 5 wickets in hand.
I usually try to stay on the fence with my predictions in the commentary box. That game is over. That one is done. It's toast. Get away from the Queen's ground. Get on down to BAC. This is where the action's at with me and Eli, because this game could go anywhere. 13 gone. USA, in theory, should be feeling like they're on top, having lost only 1 wicket, but they need to get the scoreboard moving. They'll get to face up to the leg breaks now. Blampied, and Jones gets that boundary that he sorely needed. The only boundary he'd had up to then was a fortunate outside edge. Much more in control of this shot. Over-pitched. In fact, it was a poor delivery, wasn't it? An out-and-out half volley and guided away by Aaron Jones.
Like I did say, just wait for it. If you wait for the ball, you will get your shots. And that's exactly what he did there, Aaron Jones.
Critically, it's off the first ball of the over, but he needs to get the single to follow it up then. I think Taylor would really enjoy these leg breaks from Ward with that short boundary. Over towards the White House on the right-hand side as we're looking the left-hand side on your screen. Plenty of dots being chewed up. Jones
Goes big. Played it down to long off, just gets a single.
Yeah, but at least a bit more aggressive intent that time.
Exactly, I did say that at some point in time, one of these 2 batsmen, or both of them, they would need to play those aggressive shots, because I'll tell you that after this over, we will only have, 6 overs left in this innings, and definitely they would need to make the most of it, put themselves in a much more comfortable position. They have the wickets in hand, 97 for 1. So Stephen Taylor would look to try and play through or be the more attacking. Aaron Jones needs to go like that.
Smashed down the ground, and that's much more like it for USA. It thuds into the side screen. The 100 comes up in the 14th over. Maybe they were doing this at a canter. Maybe they felt they had all the time in the world. But it's been a poor over. 1 half volleys followed by another from Ward. And Stephen Taylor, that's as elegant as they come. A straight 6 into the side screen.
A beautifully played shot, straight as it can be. There is no safer shot than playing it straight, and he picks up 6 valuable runs.
Oh, and guided away. Touch to go alongside Power. The outfield's so quick, it's going to be 4 more. This is the big over that USA needed. And finally, they're not just cheers of joy. You can almost hear the audible relief, the palpable relief, because this over has gone for 15. And now, finally, USA are getting on top.
It's slowly slipping away from Jersey. They had just 1 grip on this game, and this over, it seems like it's the tipping point to the United States' favor. But to come back, they'll need to get a wicket quickly. Played well, played square of the wicket. He'll pick up 4 more. Good shot, good play. Fantastic shot by Stephen Taylor. Just opening the face of the blade. And he'll pick up 4 runs from the point region.
It's the biggest over of the match so far. 19 runs coming from it. Ward was consistently far too full. He's bowled not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 half volleys in that over, and all 4 have gone for boundaries. One of them a maximum down the ground, and real class from Taylor to guide that away behind square on the offside. It brought up not just the 100, but the Nelsons come up, And now, from 8.5 and over, 9 and over, nearly required, USA look like they're going to do this at a canter. And right now, it might not just be thoughts of the win. There might be a net run rate boost in the offing for USA as well. Big, big over.
I did remember what I mentioned, that United States will need to keep a watch on that required run rate. Doesn't need to go above 9. They just need to, if they can keep it under 8, perfect. Right now, they're almost par in terms of what is needed and what they're scoring at. Needed is 7.7, and they're doing it 7.73. So, good start by the United States, just keeping at it, pretty much going quite with ease. I love the way that Steven Taylor is going about his innings. Hasn't felt like he's under any sort of pressure, just playing it with ease and grace.
Yeah, but how big a moment in the match was it, that drop catch off the leg spin of Blampede, his first over. It was all the way back in the 7th over. At that point, Taylor was only on 31, and really he's over doubled his score since then, and maybe he's taking the game completely away from Jersey. 2 noises can't be given out. I think that's flicked an inside edge. Jones looking for the scoop with only a deep backward square leg out, no one at fine leg.
Just going back to that drop catch to tell you, catches win matches. So to any youngsters listen, if you get an opportunity to take a catch, take it.
Another cutter from Pritchard, but cut away elegantly by Jones. He'll get back for a couple, and because of that massive 14th over, it's now put USA in a position where they can just nudge it around. This is Aaron Jones's wheelhouse. 1s and 2s, low risk. He'll bat for days out there if he needs to. If he needs 10, 11, 12 and over, it can get tricky for him. If he needs 6 or 7, he'll do it at a canter. And he's going to follow this one up
on the boundary. 6 runs. Aaron Jones goes straighter and picks up a maximum. A beautiful shot. It was in the slot from the captain, and he picked it up beautifully.
Maybe the first one he's really middled, isn't it? But again, Jersey too full. Can't bowl half volleys on what's a good batting wicket. Got to be tight with your lengths and lines. And they've just lost their lengths entirely in the last 2 overs. Pritchard demonstrated it there again. The full toss isn't punished. It's just a single. But USA, look at that required run rate now. It's just a fraction over a run of ball. They're 1 down, and they're cantering towards a perfect start in Group A.
Well, there's little room for error in this format of the game. You give away an opportunity. If you put it in the slot, you'll get punished. You put it too full again, you will get punished. And that's what we're seeing here. Will's coming off for Jersey. Let's cut away. Dot ball. Good comeback from the captain after being put away for 2 boundaries. Just 1 boundary in the over. Already 8 off this current over from Pritchard. Big. Steven Taylor goes for another maximum. No attempt at all from the fielders to go for that one as it goes over the side screen. I think we might be looking for another ball here.
Well, it's gone into the groundsman's enclosure, isn't it? Because that is an almighty strike. And this game is all of a sudden, in the course of 2 overs, been ended as a contest. It's now not about how or if USA will win. It's about when they will win. And Taylor and Jones acknowledging the fact that they can pick up a nice little net run rate boost here. They've gone after Pritchard in a big way after taking 19 runs off the leg spinner. They've now taken 15 runs off the skipper. And that's a really good demonstration of clean, straight hitting down the ground. Again, 2 full. Jersey, in the course of 12 balls, they've lost their chances here on game day 1.
2 overs, and they've been the decider for this match. And what you will see in terms of how the United States have gone about this game is that if they win it in this manner of winning it by 10 wickets, it sort of like gives them that authoritative start to the tournament, and they definitely put up their hands as one of the sides that will definitely be a side to watch out for during the course of the next 4 days before the final, as a side to consider to take one of the slots up to the T20 World Cup final.
We knew there'd be nerves, we knew there'd be tension, we knew there'd be ebbs and flows throughout the matches. But USA's class has just come to the fore over the course of the last 15 to 20 minutes. You have to give great credit to Jersey for the way they fought for the first 10 overs. Many points, Eli, you and I were speculating they were maybe even ahead. But we kept saying with only 1 wicket down and all the power hitting that USA have to come, they still have time to catch up. And the extra pace on the ball will create more run scoring opportunities. Good diving stop. Jonty Jenner's been excellent in the field, but it's going to be too little too late for Jersey, isn't it? USA, they're in canter mode now.
Definitely. It would require something special from New Jersey in terms of to come back in this game, defending 154 while USA on 127 right now. So it's all about trying to get as many wickets and dot balls as they can to try and get this one. But 10 wickets in hand, it seems like a tall order.
More runs into the leg side, it'll just be a single. The other thing for Jersey to consider is that even if they're going to go down to defeat here, the further they can drag this game out, every ball they can drag it out, can they take it to the 19th, maybe even the 20th over? That will mean that even though it's been a hammering, they might lose by 9 wickets here. It's only net run rate that counts. It's not the number of wickets you've lost. So if, let's say, USA chase this down in 18.4, 18.5 overs, they're not going to have that big a net run rate deficit. They'll look to go and challenge Zimbabwe tomorrow, who they play against. As this one's worked into the leg side, no real timing for Jones. And even if they don't necessarily beat Zimbabwe, if Singapore were to beat USA, that would keep Jersey alive in the tournament and would make net run rate their final ally.
So it's all to play for Jersey, despite being in such kind of a situation. The net run rate is very, very important in this format of the game. So you can also look forward to another game that will be coming through exactly in an hour's time, and that'll be Hong Kong versus Uganda at the stadium, Bulawayo Athletic Club.
And then conversely, Eli, for USA, every ball counts in terms of how quickly they can chase this down. They are going to win this game, you'd have to say. It's almost a certainty now, the score moving to just 26 more runs required. But how quickly can they do it? Can they have another big over maybe in the 17th or the 18th over, just to close things out, get that nice little boost, give themselves a bit of a cushion to go alongside the 2 points they'll get for winning?
Pace off that one. Attempted run out. Good take by the keeper to run quite a fair bit of a distance. And they'll finish off that one. Nope. They're just changing ends. That left-right hand combination coming into effect where you have to change in terms of fielding positions.
With the exception of that one drop chance, Jersey really have been excellent in the field. And it's just a shame that it was the critical dropped opportunity of Taylor, of all the batters don't want to drop on the American side. Stephen Taylor's number one for reasons like that, for strokes that he can play around the ground. It's going to be 4 more to the total. USA, they're moving within touching distance. It's just 20 more to win, and they've got 4 overs to do it.
No, we've seen it that if you put it along just by his pads, Stephen Taylor will punish you. It was full and towards the leg side, swung with ease, getting it past fine leg, was inside the circle, ran away for 4 to end that over.
So a final turn to spin for Jersey, back to one of their multiple spin options. I go back to the leg spinner, Blampede. I still feel that when he made the breakthrough, they took him off immediately after that one over. I just wonder, would Chuggy Purchard take that decision back and maybe have kept his leg spinner going? He's going to find a second wicket here because Jones has given it away again. Not a good delivery, much like the first one. And somehow Aaron Jones hasn't found a way to dispatch this over the rope. He's just top-edged it up into the sky. A simple catch for Jake Dunford. And Jersey, from nowhere, have their second, thanks to a leg spinner.
Jersey pick up their second wicket. It was pitched in short. Jones saw it like a pitch ball, went for it, eyes open, but then getting a top edge. Like I did say that with such kind of shots, you need to wait for the ball a little bit. He was halfway through the shot before the ball got there, getting a top edge and giving away an easy wicket. Soft dismissal, you would say. United States 135 for 2. Jersey picking up wickets towards the later end in terms of what the required runs are needed.
Yeah, Jones falls for 38 from 30 deliveries. Blampede's going to look in the book and say, why did you take me off? I'm taking 2 wickets and 7 balls. Albeit it wasn't necessarily the most brilliant first over, but sometimes in T20 cricket you find that, particularly with 5 fielders on the rope, you'll pick up wickets, particularly as a leg spinner, with your poor deliveries. It's going to bring Jaskaran Malhotra, the joint world record holder, to the crease and back into action in international cricket, having missed that home series in Texas. And he's very nearly been dismissed first ball. His first ball back into a full international. He's gone back, it's skidded on, and very nearly paid the price.
No fit movement at all. The crease, he was stuck at the crease, and that one hurried onto him, almost missing the top of off stump with just a few centimeters.
And you get that natural variation as a leg spinner. That probably was just a leg break out of the hand, but it's just skidded on a bit. It wasn't the googly, it wasn't out of the back of the hand, but you just get that natural variation off the pitch. Malhotra goes agricultural to get off the mark into the leg side. He was a big miss for USA in the ODIs there in Texas. Just a little coming together between Malhotra and the bowler. Not too sure what happened here.
I think they ran into each other there. Just a little bit of frustration from how the game has gone so far. The bowler, I think the pressure of the game is coming onto him. Really wasn't done on purpose, but get the feeling that he almost saw that as a run-out chance that he could have gotten there, and it's like, you're in my way.
There was no inch given, was there, by Malhotra? He stood his ground. He's a big man. Big shoulders, works hard on his fitness, his strength. And that's a very poor delivery. Blampede's been all over the place. He rather remarkably had 2 wickets in 7 deliveries, but he's just kept dragging them down, hasn't he? Real rank long hop and punished by Stephen Taylor, who continues to shine.
Pitched it short, and he got what it deserved. 4 runs off that one. Played with ease with a man that is in form, and that is Stephen Taylor. 84-48. That's the current score that he's on. And if he does that, this game will be over in a short space of time. 15 required of 20.
Going to come around the wicket now. Blampede, the leg spinner, just struggling with his lengths. Fuller this time, right into the block hole. Again, probably not quite where he intended. This is Stephen Taylor's career best in T20I cricket, coming hot on the heels of his career best in ODI cricket, where he made that breakthrough innings to get an ODI century. A stunning knock in the Moosa Stadium in Texas. This one smashed straight to the fielder. Critically, it means Taylor will keep the strike. Whisper it, Eli. There's just a sniff of a T20I 100 here. The reason why, there's only 14 to win. Taylor can hog the strike cleverly enough and finish with a 4 or a 6. He could still get there.
Definitely could. Man was seen action all around. Has played for the Barbados Tridents, the Guyana Amazon Warriors, and also has been part of the International World 11. So definitely is a man who has seen quite a lot of action. Jamaica Talawas as well. And there's been Jamaica and Montreal Tigers. That is Stephen Ryan Taylor.
Yeah, his talent has never been in doubt. His inconsistency at points at the top of the order has left some American fans frustrated. But he is a precocious, phenomenal talent, really. And it's crazy to think he's just 28 years of age. He made his debut when he was a 15-year-old for USA. Great story about picking up the nickname Bob. His first name is Stephen, but everyone knows him as Bob Taylor. It's nothing to do with former Gloucestershire and England wicketkeeper Bob Taylor. It's because he turned up to his first American tour with a SpongeBob SquarePants backpack. So immediately the more senior members of the American side said, alright, you're Bob and you're welcome to the team.
I think he should just change his name to Robert or Richard.
actually, he loves the nickname Bob. He loves it. Reminds him of his roots and where he came from. He's always been a phenomenally talented cricketer, and he's just in recent times, the last particularly 12 months or so, shown much more consistency, and that's under the new head coach, Jagadish Arun Kumar, who's said, you're our best batter, we want you to open the batting in all formats, and we want to let you shine.
Definitely shown that he's got talent. And Malhotra will come on strike, and he'll be facing Sumara. But one thing that I want to ask Leonard is, how does Stephen Taylor go about it? There's an opportunity for 100 right now. Does he just play it out or go for it?
I think in fairness to Stephen, he's not even considered it. It's only a complete cricket badger like me that would have even noticed that there was a sniff of it. I think with 12 to win, he needs 14. He just wants to get his side across the line. And I think for Malhotra, yes, a few balls back in the middle is a good thing, but you don't want to take too long. You want to get this done, pick up maybe a 9 or 10 ball remaining cushion to give you some kind of a net run rate boost. If you get there in the final over, you really don't get much, despite what could be an 8-wicket win.
It's pitch short. He tries to put it away. The square leg not inside the circle. That will just drop in the vacant area. Just behind the square leg umpire. And they'll pick up a single. Stephen Taylor will come on strike with just a few more runs needed to win this one for the United States. The required run rate is now just at 4.4, and they're getting their United States at 8.23. Full, and in the slot, one bounce, and over the boundary, 4 runs to Stephen Taylor.
There's always a chance. There's still a chance. You go 6-4 now, Stephen. You're going to have a maiden T20 I-100. He might just take a glance at the scoreboard now. He's got 10 to get. That wasn't a great delivery. And punished and put away by Stephen Taylor. He's exploited the gaps in the deep really well.
Definitely has. That Stephen Taylor moves him into 90. The tentative 90s that they will call it, but he needs 10 to get to his maiden 100. Sure that he's seen that. He might go for it. He does. Pulls it. It's in the gap just behind the man. Third man runs away for 4. He needs 6 to get to his maiden 100.
This ball really, I reckon, although he could take the single. If he's clever, he could take the single, because there's 3 to win.
It's all there for the taking, Stephen. Go for it.
Yeah, he's gotta be thinking of that century now.
He's having a look at the scoreboard. Look at him looking at it.
He's definitely taking a look. Here we go. Stephen Taylor on 94. A maximum would get him there. Could he do it? Can he dream of backing up a maiden ODI 100 last month in Texas by making a maiden T20 I-100 here live around the world on ICC.TV against Jersey on the biggest stage for associate cricket, the T20 World Cup qualifier. He needs 6 to get there. Here we go. Oh, he's clocked it, but it doesn't matter. He's got another chance. He won't even consider a second run.
He'll keep the strike.
Need 2 to win. But Stephen Taylor, if he can find a maximum, he could get to 3 figures for the first time in T20 international cricket.
I did tell you that it's up for the taking. That's the end of the 18th. And it'll find the United States on 153 for the loss of 2. With Stephen Taylor needing just 5 to get to his maiden T20 100.
Come on then, Bob. Let's finish it in style if you can. He's going to have a leg spinner bowling to him who has bowled a real mixed bag. A bit of licorice, all sorts we've seen from Blampede, and you'd have to think that this vacant space out here between the long on fielder where Tribe is and the deep mid-wicket fielder, he's got about 45 yards to work with to get it over the rope there. Or if it's dragged down, he might go square. 6 to get to the 100. He smashed it down towards us. It's going to go onto our head, and it is a maiden T20 I-100 for Stephen Taylor. You can see us. We're on our feet. He stands. He doesn't even celebrate. Now the helmet comes off. Stephen Taylor, you are a star. A maiden ODI 100 less than a month ago in Texas. He's followed it up here in Bulawayo in Zimbabwe, and what a way to do it. It was only a couple to win. It was a juicy full toss, and he says,
Thank you very much. I'll go to three figures in the most brilliant of ways onto the roof of our tent. Just as well it was there.
A magnificent performance by Stephen Taylor, getting to his maiden T20 100 off of 55 deliveries. And with that one, he wins the game for his team. The United States pick up their first win in this T20 World Cup qualifier. A good start to the tournament for the United States. They went about their business with ease and grace. Stephen Taylor leading from the front as their opening batter. Saw it all the way through from ball one right up to the finish.
Outstanding innings from what a cricketer Stephen Taylor is. We've spoken about Ali Khan being the star, and what's more, we've got the match ball in our hands.
Fantastic.
I think we're going to hang on to that one.
We
mate.
can hang on to it, right, mate?
That one's not going back.
Nah, that one.
There
yeah.
it is. It
This
went
is
right on our roof, and the umpires have been so busy shaking hands they've forgotten to get the ball back. We might remind Langton of that one later. Great work from Praveen and all of our team to pick that ball up. As soon as he hit it, you knew it was six, and what a way to do it. It was that long, lingering look at the scoreboard that said to Stephen Taylor, hold on, I can do this.
I told you that it was up for the taking. He did quite well, and he finished it off in fantastic style for him to get through to the required total of 155. We'll just be giving you the match summary in terms of how they went about their proceedings. That is, the United States in this innings.
Just getting the scorer got lost in the excitement, didn't he? He was too busy celebrating Taylor's 100 to get the six in. There it is, though. Confirmation. It's a maiden T20 100 for Stephen Taylor. A majestic knock of 101 not out that's come from just 55 deliveries. He's hit the ball not just down the ground, but all the way around the ground with great style. No shortage of power. And that dropped catch from Sumerier has ended up costing Jersey in the worst of ways. 38 for Aaron Jones and 15 for Mayank Patel, but it was really the one-man show today from a batting perspective for USA. It was all about Stephen Taylor.
Start of the tournament that the United States have, and a fantastic performance in terms of how they go about it. United States winning the toss and electing to bowl first. 154, and then they win this one.
Yeah, we'll just take a very quick look at the bowling figures as well. Our internet just playing up at the most critical of times. But one thing is for certain, USA have taken the win, and they will win by 8 wickets. We'll be back with the post-match presentation. We're going to have a quick turnaround. I'll be joining you in a couple of moments for that. But do stay with us for not just the post-match presentation, but also the first game in Group B this afternoon. It'll be Trent Johnson's Hong Kong taking on the African side near home soil. That's Uganda. That'll be from 1:30 local time. Stay with us for the post-match presentation. That game will start in 50 minutes. And what a sensational knock we've seen from Stephen Taylor. USA started in perfect fashion with an 8-wicket win. Qualifier B in Bulawayo, Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, not Harare. We've had a great start to the tournament and a really interesting and entertaining game. It ebbed and flowed, went both ways. Jersey posted 154 for 5 from their 20 overs, and they fought very hard with the ball, but they weren't able to stop Stephen Taylor's tearaway maiden T20I century, which took the game USA's way, and they ran out winners by 8 wickets. We'll hear from both captains, and we'll find out who the player of the match is. I think you might be able to guess that one. We'll speak first to the losing captain. That's Chuggy Pritchard of Jersey. Chuggy, huge disappointment, I can imagine. Did you feel maybe at the halfway stage you were right in the game?
Yeah, definitely. Ben Ward and Asa tried batted brilliantly to get us up to what we thought was a defendable score. We came up against a pretty special innings today from Taylor. Credit to him. We fought hard with the ball, but just it wasn't our day today.
Does the fact you put Taylor down make it all the harder to take, because his batting after that drop was simply sensational? Yeah, well,
at this level, you can't really give top players a second life. We found that out the hard way today, but it was a tough chance, to be fair, and we could have got him out again if we'd bowled maybe a little bit better at times. Speaking of brilliant batting, your youngster, 18 years of age, that was certainly a breakthrough innings for him, a little bit like we saw from Jonty Jenner all the way back in 2015. He's announcing himself onto the world stage. Tell us about Asa Tribe. Yeah, Ace is a terrific player. We were away in Namibia recently, and he scored back-to-back 50s against Namibia's side as well. So he's done it before for us. He's a very talented young man and got a bright future ahead of him. It's obviously a very short turnaround. You'll have back-to-back games. Tomorrow, big challenge for you against Zimbabwe. It's not necessarily must-win territory, but you'll be looking to pick up a win to get your challenge going in this qualifier. Yeah, definitely. Tomorrow's a huge fixture for us. The boys are very excited. The prospect of playing against a test-playing nation in front of a big crowd, we're going to be right up for it. We'll recover well throughout the day and come back strong tomorrow. Chuggy, hard luck today. Best luck tomorrow. Thank you. That's Chuggy Pritchard, naturally devastated and disappointed after their defeat today, but his boys fought very hard. We'll speak now to Monank Patel, the USA captain, and his boys were superb. Monank, were you comfortable throughout the entire game?
I think initially we adjusted the length really well. The credit to the bowlers. I think we really bowled good in the first 6 overs. I think we were just unlucky in the last 2 overs when Ali Khan broke his hand, and we couldn't capitalize the last 2 overs. But overall, I felt like 155 was a good score. We bowled really well.
Can you give us an update on Ali? Obviously, huge concern for you in your camp. It looked a very nasty blow. He's been taken off to the hospital for an X-ray?
Yeah, he has taken to the hospital. I think he has a minor fracture or something, but I'm not sure yet.
Okay, we'll wait to hear the official update on that. Tell us about the batting, though. Stephen Taylor, we've all known how talented he is, but over the course of the last 6 or 8 weeks, he's performing more and more consistently for your side, both ODIs and now today in T20Is.
Yeah, we all know on a given day, Stephen Taylor is a dangerous batsman. He can change the game on single-handedly, and today he batted brilliantly. And I felt like our plan is top four batsmen. Any day, one of the batsmen has to play till the last ball of the innings.
Okay, let's look ahead to tomorrow. Challenge with Singapore. They were defeated heavily by Zimbabwe. If you could win that tomorrow, you'd probably put yourselves into a position where you might be guaranteed a semi-final. How big is that game?
I think it's important that we play our best cricket and repeat the positives which we did today, and we'll definitely. I'm really confident that we will repeat it tomorrow.
Monank, well done today. Let's hope all the best for Ali Khan, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, that's Ali Khan, the captain of USA. Very happy captain. Time now to call upon my player of the match presenter, and a very important man. He's running the show here. That's Mr. Shahid Wadvala, the ICC match referee. He's going to come in to my right, and Shahid, just come in right in next to me. Thank you for doing the presentation and for all your work throughout this tournament. He's the main man looking after all of our umpiring team. So we'll go as always in the 3-2-1 order. In third place today, Rusty Theron, an outstanding spell of 2 for 28, bowling with real fire and aggression. In second place, a career best for Asa Tribe of Jersey, 73 not out he made. He batted beautifully, but there really was only one option, a maiden T20I century, an outstanding knock. It goes to Stephen Taylor. So Stephen's going to receive his award for the player of the match from the ICC match referee. Special moment for Stephen. And a lovely warm round of applause from the Jersey supporters and players. We'd like to acknowledge that. Stephen, I seem to talk to you more often than not at these post-match presentations. How well are you playing at the moment?
At the moment I'm feeling good. Coming from Namibia, I wasn't getting the starts that I wanted, but coming here I know we have a tour to win. So we're here to make a difference and try to make a win.
Be honest with me. Were you always comfortable in the chase? At one point you needed nearly 9 and over.
Yeah, honestly, because the wicket was getting better and drying out, so it wasn't like any demons in the wicket to get us out. So most likely, the 2 wickets that fell today were short balls. So it's like you're getting yourself out. So just once you're at the wicket, you must make runs.
Special word for your bowlers. I thought Rusty Theron in particular was outstanding, but Nisarg Patel's spell, the way he out-thought the left-hander, that was a big moment in the game too.
Rusty Big Red always bowls good, so I have nothing to say for Big Red. But Nisarg was a brilliant spell. His last over, worry, but still a brilliant spell at the same day.
2 more questions. Firstly, can you get over the potential loss of Ali Khan for this tournament? That's a huge blow for you and your team.
Yeah, that's a big blow. Everybody knows that Ali Khan, AK-47, is a big player in our team, so losing him might be one of the biggest things for us, but we're going to bounce back and hope our bowlers can do the rest for him.
Win tomorrow, you could be 1 game away from a World Cup. Is that the dream for Team USA?
Biggest dream of life.
Okay, well, Stephen, as always, finish with a few words. Congratulations today. That's the player of the match. Stephen Taylor, an outstanding knock, his maiden T20I century, 101 not out he made, and that's going to wrap up our coverage for Game 1. But don't go anywhere. The great news about this qualifier, it's short, it's sharp, it's intense. We're straight back into action. It's going to be Group B action this afternoon here at the Bulawayo Athletic Club with me and Eli. It's going to be Uganda against Hong Kong. Stay tuned for that. The action's going to get going in less than 30 minutes' time.